Greetings and welcome to Winning Saturday Night. How's everybody doing out there? Hope you're all doing and living well. So good to see each and every one of you. We got a great show for you tonight. So glad that you're here. And first, let me thank all those members, all you winners out there, all members of the winner circles, no matter what tier you're at. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And thank you to Shelly and Wolfram for also supporting the channel over on Rumble. I am broadcasting live right now on Rumble, X, and YouTube, and you can find me in any of those great places. And if you're new, welcome to the show. This is our Saturday night show, and what we do is we just do a kickback, laid-back show. This is the good news of the week, cool and funny videos, and all that other stuff. That's what we do. We try to keep it light here on Saturday night with the greatest crowd out there on the internet, the most bass takes in the world, the most bass crowd in the world. And let's do this thing. Wolfram, what's up, my man? How you doing? Thank you for dropping these links. Remember to always listen to the Wolf. He knows what he's talking about. He wipes his paws, lips in the house, and he is here. Many of you are here too. Say hello and let's go. All right. So what's up this week, guys? How is everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Yep. And Saturday night. This one was supposed to go off last weekend, but last minute thing, so we just kind of moved it over to this weekend, and here we are tonight. We're going to go over we're going to see part 2 of Crowder Confronts. We started part 1 on Thursday, and part 2 hadn't been out yet, so I promised as soon as it came out we'd watch that. So we're going to do that up front, as well as go into some other good news of the week. It's been quite a week indeed. Not a ton of good news because we're right here. I mean, there is, but we gotta dig for it. Look for those little nuggets of happiness that are out there in the fails of the establishment and other things that we could find out there. But I do have some good stuff for you tonight. Of course, we got funny and cool videos coming up later on as well. Hey, there's Iron Rabbit. What's up, Iron Rabbit? How have you been? Look at you. How you been? So good to see you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. We don't see you around so much, but man, it's awesome. We always think about you, and we hope that you're doing great out there. So good to see you. Yay. All right. So we are like I said, there's been, we're in the final leg of the race here. And day in and day out, it's gonna be like a roller coaster ride. And it's gonna be up and down, up and down, up and down. Some days it's gonna feel really good, and some days it's gonna be worrisome. That's just my experience with the final leg of the race. Been lurking, but here, awesome. I'm so happy that you are. Thank you, Iron Rabbit. Thank you. And that's what it's like. That's what it's like. Some days we get these really big lifts, right? And some days it seems like we don't have a chance in the world. And the next day it seems like we have nothing but the best chance in the world. It's a weird time right now in the election cycle, right? And with the final weeks of the presidential race, has always been this up and down kind of thing. Well, this not always, but the last 3 runs, right? Last 3 runs, and it has been like that, and that's what it seems like right now. At least 2020 was it extended past the election date because they pulled that scam on us. And we had to sit there and wait and hope that something was going to happen before inauguration, which it didn't. But it was up and down for that too. Some days we think, something's going to happen. And some days we think, doesn't seem like anything's going to happen. Okay, wait, now something's going to happen. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, we got all these lawsuits. Oh, they're not going to take them because of standing. Oh, we got, we found something. No one's going to listen to it. Oh, it was this back and forth. I remember that roller coaster time well. And it seems like we're kind of there too. I've noticed lately, there's been a lot of the establishment useful idiots have been out in full force. They're looking for anything to grasp onto. They're putting out a lot of demoralizing content to make you believe that we're not going to win, but we're all going to show up. Farrell, what's up? How you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. How you been? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're living well. Yeah, so it's up and down. So just hang on for the ride. Hang on for the ride. Even if something looks dire one day, the next day it's probably going to turn out to be okay, or something else will come along. And that's just the times that we are in, and that's the space that we're in right now, leading up to this election. So hang tight. I'll be here for the ride with you. Of course, we'll be covering the upcoming vice presidential debate on October 1st. And I will be keeping you up to date on everything else that's going on 2 times a week or more on Winning 2024. I do that Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then any additional times that are needed, I will spin that show up and go. Let's see. Another thing that's I'm going to be adding to the collection here, or I might do a special show on it depending on how broad it goes. Is the UN is currently holding their freedom, their future summit, right? I remember I talked about that way back in the beginning of the year during Davos. I was covering that. I said, we got to watch the UN's future summit. Well, that's happening right now. In fact, I think it's the last night of it. It's tonight. So instead of covering, the massive amount of BS that's going on there, full stream live every day, I'm just going to do a wrap-up show on it. So it'll probably be an Unveiling Reality special, open conspiracy series special on that once I get it all together. No rush, it ain't going anywhere. So, but I will bring you that so that you're up to date on what the UN is up to. And I will lead into that probably on Tuesday with a piece by that kind of explains what's going on with it. So there you go. Hey, Memento, how you doing? Everybody's rolling in here. There he is. All right. But yeah, up and down it goes. So there is a lot of people. If you are an X user, or you go on to X, you'll see a lot of it out there. Kamala had a big rally in Wisconsin where she said absolutely nothing to a huge crowd, but it's Wisconsin. I mean, it's like I think that's the first big crowd she's ever really had. And so they're spinning that up like it's everything's changing. It's good. It's awesome. But I listened to her 20-minute speech, just to kind of get an idea of what kind of BS. So all these people got in there for a 20-minute speech, which is lame. And I know Trump goes longer than that, even on his ones he's doing 2 and 3, or 3 rallies a day, 1 or 2, whatever it is at this point. He still goes longer than that, but she got up there and just same old word salad, same old. I mean, saying absolutely nothing for 20 minutes, except for the same old rhetoric from the left. It's the most, they appeal to emotions, and they try to make it, feel like it's the end of the world, and they wonder why people get all spun up and go do weird stuff. We got this going on. This is always a great way to start out the show. Here we go. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Talking trash and truths. You still can't gift memberships. What's going on with that? You can gift the boobies. Yes, you can. Thank you so much for that, and we do appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and all that you do. So you can't. Okay, well, look, Iron Rabbit. It works for her. You got to figure out what's going on here.
A big long knobs. It has to do. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's cold. I can tell you all about it. I mean, look at this thing. When I find it, I don't anything in.
Iron Rabbit, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. I so much appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see who got these tonight. Rome 13, Super V 94, Matthew Sipe. He was here the other night. He actually stopped in. Colin, All My Friends 3, and Miami Spice. All y'all, welcome to and welcome back to the Winner's Circle. Thank you. Thank Iron Rabbit for those awesome gifted memberships. Thank you so much, Iron Rabbit. You rock. You rock. You rock. Thank you. Rockin' Rabbit. Queen of Kansas. That's if I remember how the song goes. That's right. Yeah. Thank you. Everybody's so happy to see Rabbit here. Oh no, it's the humidity or consequences. What happened? From the RSV. I hope they take care of you. Okay, so something's going on there, but whatever that is, I hope you're taken care of. And thank you for the gifted memberships. All right. Breathing. Okay, well, I hope you feel better. I really do. We pray for you and think about you all the time. Hey, there's Outpost Nerd. What's up, Outpost Nerd? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Outpost, did you catch the new Agatha all along? We just watched it there. Judge Maddie, what's up? Yeah, they are the best gift. Boobies are the best gift ever. Best gifts ever, for sure. Welcome, Judge Maddie. Good to see you. Yeah, I was just talking about how, it's roller coaster time in the world leading up to the election, but good things happen all the time, and I try to find them and I try to bring them to you. on Saturday nights. If I don't already talk about them during the week, but I do try to find them out there. There's lots of good news going on. So I'll tell you what. Without further ado, yeah, you watched it. Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. We'll probably deal with it. It's all right. It seems okay. There's a lot of I like the fact they're adding a lot of like symbolism and a lot of like nods to pop culture in it. It's pretty cool. That part I like. You know, some of it's silly, but of course it's silly. All right. Without further ado, let's get into actually, you know what? Let's see. I actually have to do this first. Let me do this first. Just switch this to manual. Pull this up here. Okay, so this is kind of a little bit. I mean, it's kind of part of good news. Shoot, let's just make it part of good news. What do you say? Why not? Why not? Let's do it. Where is my good news of the week? There it is.
Spread the word, bringing joy and love to each and every nerve. Positive vibes, that's what we're all about. Gonna lift you up when you're feeling down. Every day we're gonna make it bright. Good news coming your way. You're gonna smile no matter the day. Good news, turning it around in this crazy world. It's the good news of the week.
All right, good news of the week. Here we go. Story number 1. This is the top good news of the week. You won't believe it until you see it. Well, until I put it up there, right? There you go. Add to stage.
It was a camping trip that turned into a catastrophe. Rainbow the cat was missing in Yellowstone National Park, home to bears and bison.
Coyotes.
Finding him alive here seemed impossible.
Even though that day when we left, I was crushed leaving without him. It felt so unnatural to leave without him. Like, you just don't leave your kid. I mean, even though he's a cat,
Rabbit.
he's my baby.
After looking for days, Benny and Suzanne's search was put on pause as they headed back to California.
Hey, cool camera.
2 months on, to their shock, Rainbow somehow made his way back to a shelter not far from the family home. A journey that would take 15 hours by car took this cat 8 weeks. His owners are overjoyed.
My husband gets them to take a picture in the shelter and send it to him. And I'm still looking at it. Is it really him? And then we realize it's really him. I believe truly that he made that track mostly on his own. He was his paws were really beat up.
So Rainbow is reunited with his family. He certainly has a tale to tell. Daniel,
he sure does. So there you go. That's your opener for good news of the week, huh? Yeah, he looks just like my first cat. I miss that first cat so much. He was, yeah, he didn't come home one night. I looked for him for weeks. That's what happened. But you know what? Good news is Rainbow made it back. So here we go, guys. Crowder confronts part 2. The New York City COVID czar that scammed an entire city. Confronted by Steven Crowder. It's a good thing they didn't live in Ohio. I get it. Rainbow seems pretty clever, though. Seems pretty clever. I mean, if Rainbow could make it all that way and not get eaten and not get run over and not get hijacked or adopted by somebody else, you know, that cat is one smart Kitty.
You have a dossier on me?
Yeah, but it is about you as a government official being the architect of the policy.
So those things are
having sex parties and having dance parties while businesses are being shut down. And New York City unemployment that's twice the national average as a result of policy.
My wife and I had a party with like 10 people who everybody got vaccinated. Not vaccinated, everybody got tested and things like that.
There was over 12 people when the gatherings at that point you had to do in secret because no one else could gather 10 or more. If you could do it all over again, would you do it the same way? Or would you allow people their freedoms and not harm New York City like you did? Today, I introduced you to Dr. J. Varma, the man widely touted as the COVID architect in charge of New York City's COVID response, the right-hand man to Mayor Bill de Blasio, who in his own words convinced the mayor to do the mandate. In short, the man who brought down a city that had 2,800 small businesses closed, never to be reopened, a city of failing test scores after over 1 million students were kept out of classrooms for more than a year, and a city where tens of thousands of New Yorkers simply left. Today's Mug Club Undercover video saw Varma brag to our journalist about his medical background at places like the CDC, his newfound celebrity.
It's kind of a treat to hear you describe me as a celebrity.
His influence over the city. He was able to force mass vaccination on people by making them, quote, uncomfortable through applying both financial and social pressure.
It's like, I'm just gonna get vaccinated.
And he even gleefully bragged that he was the man responsible for making it impossible for Kyrie Irving to play for the Nets. I wonder how Mr. Irving feels about that.
So I like to keep that stuff private.
Of course, Varma himself wasn't affected. While New Yorkers were allowed to gather indoors and many watched their loved ones die alone, he bragged about having drug-fueled sex parties. You can watch the whole piece by clicking the link in the description there. But something important here, in reviewing the footage, one thing stood out to me. Not once did he show anything resembling remorse.
Yeah, you can keep it. Yeah.
Never once did this man, the trusted authority for New Yorkers and for many across the country, ever seem to have a remote interest in self-reflection or even the possibility of acknowledging the destruction that residents faced as the result of his policy. And if he's so sure about the righteousness of the policies he advocated, why didn't he follow them? Why did he demand submission through fear from the citizens of New York over something that he did not fear himself at all? That's the question that ate at me, and one that hasn't been answered by any of those caught violating their own guidelines since 2020, from Gavin Newsom to Gretchen Whitmer to Nancy Pelosi. Now, we may never be able to get them to answer, but today, I was able to ask Dr. J. Varma.
Oh my gosh!
There you go.
Let's go.
No, we do some corporate events and stuff like that too. So he's one of those clients. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had a problem with one of the. I'll talk to you about it later, but.
Oh my gosh, this is so random.
I know.
Like, what are the odds in New York City?
Well, I wasn't supposed to be here, but I just got into town here yesterday. So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how exciting! Well,
Are you guys?
we're just.
I haven't been here.
What are you doing right now?
Supposed to be working, but I don't think I'm.
Okay.
Do
you want to have?
Yeah,
do you
grab a
want-
drink. Grab a
Okay,
drink.
cool. We're just gonna be. We're gonna have one drink and then get out of
Okay.
here. So,
Sure. Yeah. Do you mind if I grab this chair?
oh my gosh.
Does that work? Okay, I'll speak.
So what do you work on then?
Well, I work in media. But, it's one of those big guilt complex. So we have to do these fundraisers every now and then. And it's like, save the koalas or turpid sloth or whatever the hell it is.
Saving the whale.
It's an environmental thing. Or not. I don't really know how much we're. You hope the money goes to the right place.
Yeah,
after.
exactly. Yeah.
So how do you treat each other?
He's really smart.
Yeah.
Why is that funny?
I don't know why.
I would assume.
That's a very interesting way. Like, he's very smart.
Well, I mean, anyway, I just remember like hating whenever I took some sort of science class or whatever. So when I do meet anyone in healthcare, I'm like, okay, I already know that you're like.
But that's always the thing. Like, you get attracted to like I'm interested in people who have skills that you don't have. Right?
Yeah.
Like when I hear people who are like artistic and stuff, I'm always like, what do you do? Because I can't draw.
Well, I would be scarier if you said he's in healthcare. He's really dumb.
Yeah. I know, right?
Last word for anesthesiology.
I'm so sorry. My boss is calling me. I have to say, I will be right back. Sorry, you two get to know each other for a second.
There was a period during which there were no restrictions, no mandatory restrictions in New York. And I know this, I was always on thought. There were no mandatory restrictions, and there was widespread COVID. And what happened? The entire city shut down because no cafe had a work.
But my point is when there were shutdowns and restrictions, it seems like rules for thee, not for me, if you're having sex parties with people in hotels.
I think the idea with all of that was basically, again,
if you're having sex parties and dance parties with 200 people while people there get punished if there are 10 or more at a gathering, or more than 40, and you have a dance party of 500 people, that seems like, my question is, you obviously doing that.
Isn't that true with everything though in life?
No, not everyone's having sex parties when they encourage lockdowns for other people.
No, but there's a million rules.
If you weren't afraid of it, why those policies? My point. If you're afraid of it, you wouldn't be having sex parties and you wouldn't be having dance parties with 200 people when everyone else is locked down.
No, because I'm saying that it's not.
And not checking for vaccinations.
It's not individual,
right?
No, it was
you know
different issues. I mean, I think
you know what I'm talking about.
What I'm trying to get at is the main issue is it's not about individual level risk. It's the same thing as driving.
But it is about you as a government official being the architect of the policy.
So those things are
having sex parties and having dance parties while businesses are being shut down. And New York sees an unemployment that's twice the national average as a result of policy.
During the time, I was going to these dance parties in the first year and a half of COVID. I don't know what you're talking about.
You weren't having sex parties? And then dance parties?
No. My wife and I had a party with like 10 people who everybody got vaccinated. Not vaccinated, everybody got tested and things like that.
There was over 12 people. When the gatherings at that point, you had to do in secret because no one else could gather 10 or more. People were dying alone because they couldn't visit members in the hospital.
I think you're missing the bigger picture.
And when you had 200 at a dance party, that's 5 times the amount for everyone else living in this city.
I wasn't at any big. I don't know what you're talking about. Me specifically. I wasn't at any dance parties. I was
sure you did. Yeah, you did. You had a dance party with 200 less people. You didn't check their vaccination status.
No,
I went to.
Yeah.
Just like when? Oh, we're trying to move in.
No, you want to bring it up.
So our parents are coming this week, actually, like later this week.
Like in the summer, I think the first time I went to a dance party was like the summer of
coming from Korea.
20.
You understand though how that's a tough sell to the American people, the
we had an
business
outdoor
owners.
event in July.
I get to spend more time with
the summer of COVID or something like that.
And then
I think we were at an outdoor event in the summer of 2020.
I don't know how much
I wasn't at an event in the summer of 2020.
So
it was an outdoor event.
you had sex
You have a
parties.
dossier on me?
Yeah.
Why? What is going on here?
Well, you know, a lot of people have been affected by this policy. And my question is genuine. It's just level with me here.
More offensive.
You weren't afraid of it. Here, we got the mandate clip.
But why? What is going on here?
Get vaccinated?
Starting to dawn on
Sex parties. That you had sex parties where you rented a hotel. Everyone had a blast. The timeline is that is during the time when people were still being locked down. And then you had dance parties later on. This was in May or June of 2021, which still would have been 5 times beyond the amount that everyone else in the city was permitted.
Yeah, so when the war happened, and they split.
Yeah, the summer of 2021.
And Kyrie Irving wasn't able to play basketball because he wouldn't be vaccinated. But you're at a dance party.
What's going on here? Are you trying to like?
Yeah, I can tell you. So I'm Steven Crowder, and I know everything that you have been talking about.
Okay.
And a lot of people have been negatively affected by your policies here in this country. And I just want you to level with me at this point. If you were living where you're not afraid of it,
we're gonna try to say
I mean, right now you're giving me the story of it's only a certain amount of people who wear masks. You haven't sex parties while that's happening. You're having dance parties.
You guys are telling stories to somebody.
And you also,
it's probably better if you get married.
and the teachers, you have kids. I mean, New York, the results have been abysmal. I mean, the decline in mathematics and education, the reading levels, it's twice the national.
But now I don't know.
At what point is there some accountability or culpability for people
You probably couldn't go
in
wrong
this
either
city?
way. No.
This city is not what it was.
I liked moving in with Jordan.
You're the
I got
architect
married
of COVID
because,
policy.
like, got to.
If you could change it, would you still do it?
Yeah, when you live with someone, whether they're a roommate
And you
or
were
Would you still do it?
I didn't realize that I was being set up for
it's
something.
different.
I'm Steven Crowder,
With them.
and this is going to be for the public to see. If you have anything that you want to say
Oh,
about it.
this is like,
Yeah, it's like-
I have that question. I have one more question.
This is
De Blasio, is he a weenie because he didn't enforce more authoritarian measures, or is he a weenie because he didn't stand up to the teachers union who irreparably harmed children.
Yeah, single sibling. Yeah. But dad's getting what dad's getting.
Is he a weenie because he didn't do more to lock people down while you were living high on the hog?
Yeah,
or is he a weenie because he didn't have the spine to stand up to the teachers union, who I think we would both agree
My dad was saying like, oh, he read this news article.
corrupt and didn't do what was in the best interest of the kids and harmed a generation of students.
He's like, oh, it's very logical. And then my mom's like, on the more emotional side, she was like,
I wanted kids in school. The mayor wanted kids in school, but the teachers union didn't.
I'm pretty
The
much
teachers union wanted all the teachers to stay home with Zoom so they'd be safe, even though it means the kids get hurt.
Like if her dad
So the mayor was screwed,
get married.
and then he said he has to work for them for like votes.
I'm not gonna be like, that's the surest way to ensure you'll never get.
You know how tough that is for a parent to take?
Yeah. It's the long game, like you're saying.
Dude,
Do you have children in school?
it's the same thing. In 5 years, it won't really matter what.
What a shocker.
Yeah.
How do you think Kyrie Irving's going to react
Exactly.
when he wasn't allowed to play basketball? And the people who
Should be good though.
enacted that policy
Dude, that's excited for that.
were having orgies, effectively.
This is a lot of weight too.
Okay, I didn't know.
I'm not sure there's anything that I'm going to say that you would report accurately, so I'm not sure.
These are your quotes.
Yeah, I'm also babbling in what I thought is a date with somebody. And my wife and I have an open relationship. That is not something I'm afraid to talk about.
No, I don't. I'm not judging your sexual choices.
I have no qualms. You can talk about my wife. You can talk about me.
I'm not.
My
I'm
my
judging
kids
the
are
violating of
aware.
policies that you enacted that decimated businesses and families
I don't.
while having sex
I'm
parties
not.
Still worried about himself.
That I can remember.
and dance parties.
I went to a party. in the
While
summer
other
of
people, if they would have
2021.
done so, if they didn't have the luxury of government
No,
protection,
there were lots of
could have been
people.
arrested.
In the summer of 2021,
Social,
things were open.
the guidelines were 10 people or less,
Yeah, now it's Dominic.
not indoor
You're gonna
gatherings.
be like, shit,
Yeah,
Chef
then
got
maybe.
married?
Oh, actually, no. I'm sorry. Actually, by the way, just
I had to be kind of sneaky about it, rented a hotel, because hotels didn't want people gathering there in line with the policy that
No, I know.
was your architecture.
no. That's that
Because I was like running the entire COVID response in the city.
That is we talk about the dance event, though. By the way, I wasn't actually working for the city anymore at that time. I actually officially ended my response. I officially did my break in August 30th. I'm sorry, April 30th of 2021.
Yeah.
So he's
And I
not
was
responsible
at that
for that,
time.
right?
I was purely consulting.
So just the remnants of your policy that you were violating.
Well, there are other people setting policies at the time.
Yeah, but you believe in those
I was not
policies.
a
You
city
encourage
employee.
those policies. You encourage more aggressive policies.
But I was not there was not a gathering restriction in summer 2021, was it?
Yeah, it was 40 people or less.
Yep, that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
I thought
Everything's about him.
And you know what? I don't blame you. It was really hard. It was really hard to keep track of that, wasn't it? At that point in
No,
time.
well, I wasn't but in summer of 2021, were there still restrictions on?
When you were just a citizen at that point, and you have to step past the landmines laid by people like you who are now in your position.
I don't think there were restrictions on indoor gatherings, were there? I don't remember, actually, honestly. I have to go back and look. But no, I wasn't a city employee at that time.
What about
Does it matter?
using mandates to pressure people and harass people? It's just to make them feel uncomfortable enough that they'll do what you want them to do. Is that how government serves their people in New York City?
I think the way government works in general is I was using the speed limit example, and you sort of skip by that. We actually that's a reasonable analogy to how
Is this guy just embody creepiness
policies
or
are
what?
set by government, right? We know there's a certain expectation, unfortunately, that not everybody's going to comply with the rules of law. Like, for example, like here, there's seats, there's a law.
Sure.
And so the main reason you set rules in government is so that you change. Again,
To ruin people's lives.
Like people on the East Coast.
If you think that that's ruining people's lives,
With
people are dying
vaccines,
on that.
it's like, oh, you can't get a job, you can't go to a restaurant, you can't go to school. It's like, I'm just going to get vaccinated.
No,
That sounds like destroying someone's life to me.
it is destroying people's lives. It's actually saving their lives.
Oh, okay. So
With vaccines,
it worked like a charm in New York, even though you had a higher death rate than the average across the nation.
No, if you
Higher
look at
than
all the
Dallas,
Miami.
Miami.
Are you kidding me? You don't know the numbers, man. Look at all the data on this. All of the numbers,
I do
all
have
the
the numbers.
studies that are done on this. Have you actually looked at the epidemiologic data? I think we're done.
So the deaths in New York City actually were about 46,500.
Thank you very much.
$458 per 100,000 residents. Miami was 13, so 494. Dallas
look at the data
was 284 per 100,000. So you had twice the rate.
Look at the data on
throw another straw,
vaccines
man.
that came available on the death rate. And all the studies that we've done, if you actually want to look at the data on excess mortality, it is abundantly clear everywhere.
Is it really? What is abundantly clear is can't get a job, can't go to school, can't go to a restaurant. This, of course, extends to running a business. I'll get a vaccine.
Example. Why? I don't understand how you don't understand the Omicron example.
I don't understand why you don't understand the freedom example while you're having gay sex parties and people are losing their livelihoods and people are losing their ability to play professional sports or, by the way, to be a manager at a local company because you decide that they should be uncomfortable and feel harassed so that they get a vaccine.
It's the same reason we have regulations on everything.
To harass the American citizens?
No, the people in this restaurant, they have to have rules to keep track of how clean they are. And do you want all those removed?
How clean are sex parties while you're on lockdown? How clean are sex parties when you're on lockdown? Because most Americans, I would say, yeah, thanks.
You guys got already in the bill?
I got the bill, so you don't have to worry about it if that's the case.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I'm a gentleman that way. I really was hoping you'd level with me, man. It's very clear you weren't afraid of it, and it was rules for other people.
You're not actually interested in listening to things that I actually talked about. I tried to.
You're not believing my excuses.
You wanted a question about when things change and when they don't change.
You broke your own laws.
What happens when you have diseases like when there are restrictions?
If you could do it all over again, would you do it the same way? Would you allow people their freedoms and not harm New York City like you did?
Jacob, what's up, man?
Looking back,
I think I think that everybody who worked in public health and healthcare during COVID was saving lives.
Really?
Yeah.
By harassing them and making them uncomfortable.
Weirdo.
Saving lives.
Crushed it.
And that's how a certain subset of our country see it. Lockdowns, unprecedented numbers of businesses closed forever, vaccine mandates, and unprecedented abuses of vast government power. If that's what you view as saving lives, and you are in a position of authority where you can make a difference, I will find you. I will expose you. And I will shame you.
Get it. All right. Steven Crowder killing it. That was awesome. Thank you guys for there you go. All right. Thank you guys for following that story with me, man. That was awesome, man. Steven just did a number on that guy. That's some good news when scumbags like that have to face up to what they did to others. And as you can see, that guy had no remorse and just kept making excuses and just kept worrying about himself. Now he has since taken down his X account. It no longer exists. So he did the scrub and he's probably heading out of the country, I would imagine, because he seems to have lived in a lot of different places. So I would imagine he's probably heading back to Ethiopia or some of these other places. He's lived high on the hog with all that taxpayer money in his pocket. But you know what? He'll never get another job again here. And that's some good news, isn't it? All right. What do you guys think, man? Crowder killed that one. I mean, he absolutely slayed it. Let me make a slight adjustment here because this is the next big good news piece I have for this evening. And this is a story about a face turn. And we've seen a lot of people come to their senses, but then there's people who were heels that made a face turn. And that's always good news. No amnesty. That's right. That's right. Not for that guy. That guy's a creep, dude. He's creepy. Imagine I mean, not that anybody here goes to sex parties, but imagine getting invited to a sex party and that guy opens the door. You're like, oh, God. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, wrong room. Oh, geez. All right. Next up, like I said, face turns, man. Heels can do it. And so when they do, man, you gotta at least say that's some good news, man. Because like I've said a few times this week, when the corrupt establishment eventually takes over and achieves their goal, the first people they eliminate is their useful idiots, and their useful idiots don't even know that. They think they're the ones who are running interference and out there promoting and furthering their agenda and enabling them the entire time with votes and support and division and everything else, right? Well, that's why they eliminate them first, because these people will feel the most impacted when they realize they have been had. Yeah, it's Fredo. But you know what? Fredo called Trump. Have you heard this, Judge? Have you heard this? Have you heard this? Good news here. He actually called Trump and apologized for everything he said to him. So, like, I mean, if we believe in justice, I think we have to believe that people can come around and do the right thing. But let's take a look at this because I actually haven't seen the whole thing either. So we'll watch it together and we'll see if we think this is sincere. But I believe, given what he's doing right now and what he's done, and he actually made a phone call to Trump, we'll see. We'll see. Let's figure it out. Let me make sure I got it on winning Saturday night speed. Winning speed. There you go. It's on winning speed. Let's go.
That's why I reached out to Trump. I wanted to just say, listen, I'm really sorry.
Man, what done got into Cuomo?
Yep. Yep.
This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com.
And we need everybody to get on the right page, man.
The stuff like you always know, the discount will pop up here, and then we'll put some links there for you. Just know if you are a veteran, if you're active in the military,
people come around, but
then
when a heel makes a face turn,
first responder, whether you're working in a hospital or whether you're a fire, you running up on hard times, you on disability. But let's get into Cuomo.
Here we go.
You know what happened to Cuomo? Now Cuomo ain't fully got his manhood back. CNN stripped him of that, but I think he's coming around the corner. Because I don't know if he still works with Valuetainment, but I know that it was that he would have a show on Valuetainment, Patrick B. Davis network, and I think he was there, and they brought in somebody to debate him, and he just got whooped over the head by Candace and all kinds of people, and he's still carrying the mantra of some stupidity from the left-leaning brain of his. However, I do think he's coming around the bush because he could be bitter like the rest of these people when they find out that things that they had said were disingenuous or wrong. He could be like the bitter ones that just hate Trump no matter what, and they just hate Republicans, and they're going to die on that hill, and they're going to be wrong until their career is completely over. At least in his case, he was slightly in denial about being wrong about ivermectin and stuff like that, but he's to some degree acquiesced. But to see him say this about Trump was pretty shocking to me. I almost was shocked enough to believe that he got all of his courage back. But then once he started talking about that he's not supporting Trump, or he didn't say who he supported, but he kind of alluded to the fact he's not a Trump supporter, it made me realize that he ain't there yet. But let me let you listen to what he said, because I do think it's interesting that he took this perspective, and I see a
okay. So I didn't know that part.
On the
Let's
left
see how this apology went.
More and more towards the theology of the right. Roll the clip.
You can think what you want about Trump.
I hear you, Matt. I hear you.
More
it's hard to trust
critics of what he says and does than me. Okay. And yet I called him today because I am ashamed of how we are responding and not responding to the threats on him. And I feel for his family. And I know you can roll your eyes and say, oh, yeah, he asked. Listen, that's your choice. And I think it's a wrong choice. OK, we got to get out of the judgment business unless it's judging ourselves. And you got to start rewarding things that are better. And I got to tell you, I don't know how he stays in the race. I don't know how he got up after being shot in the head. And you people who try to mitigate that, you need to check yourself.
Agreed, Jacob. Agreed.
He gets up, pumping his fist, stays in the race, barely even talks about it. Now, look.
See, he was doing good. Cuomo was doing real good. I say, man, Cuomo, dang, bro, you're crossing the bridge. You're coming out the closet. You're almost there. I don't know if coming out of the closet is a good analogy. But when you're conservative and you're coming out the people that are liberals, your friend group, your family, it feel like coming out the closet. You debate whether or not you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, how you're going to say. I do this all the time. It's almost like, I don't even want to make that analogy. Somebody get me on camera to my Brennan says he's gay. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I go to certain events where normal people reside, like my family, my kids, the schools. Now, my son go to a private Christian school, a Catholic school, so
it might take him a long time.
I'm not really worried about them. We all on the same page. You know what I'm saying? But like in the past, I would go to events with other people, and y'all know who I am. Y'all know what I stand for. And I would just be like, don't say nothing, Brandon. Just don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't get into an argument with people about politics. Look, you're at a freaking function here. Let them talk, and don't do it, Brandon. And then the urge and the feeling of, I can't be fake. I'm a Trump supporter. You're a dummy. You're dumb. You're voting for Kamala. And then that started rising up in me, and I just try to keep my peace, say a couple things, and then go on by my business. All right, but anyway, let me let you finish what he said. He was good so far. And then this is when I guess he got afraid a little bit of some of the backlash he's going to get.
I do believe he has wasted opportunities, and he has another one.
No, let me say this. Let me go back, because I think this is important. Not yet. He didn't go crazy yet. I actually agree with him
on what he's going to say about Trump.
Now, who better than Trump to say we can do better? I can do better. I know he keeps doubling down on his angry rhetoric. How can he not? It keeps working for him. I don't know that it gets him elected. My theory is that he needs to expand. He had a chance to do it after he was the target of an assassination at the RNC. He had a chance to say, I know what got me here. It's not going to get me where I want us to be. He did not take that chance. He now has another chance. Oh, you're supporting Trump. I'm supporting us.
Okay, so what I'm hearing there is he's not quite, he doesn't quite see the whole thing yet. But you know, step by step, it's baby steps, right? It's baby steps. we don't really need them. I mean, it's like one of those things. It's like, okay, it's just kind of like an observation of like, well, this may be just a baby step towards him really coming to an understanding about the reality, the true nature of reality. But it's all about those baby steps.
Baby steps? It means setting small, reasonable goals for yourself, one day at a time. One tiny step at a time.
Baby steps.
Yeah, it's just like T-Rex was saying there. It's baby steps. So we'll see. Like I said, I mean, I've never liked the guy, so but I always think it's cool. You know, it's good. Like if people like were like, dang, I was like completely, my mind was completely controlled by this false establishment narrative, and I see that I see, holy crap, they really abused the hell out of me. You know, that could become a powerful person right there, especially if they have reach and they have, you know, they have reach and notoriety. That can turn around a lot of people fast seeing that, right? But at the same time, it seems like he's starting to get it, but who knows if he'll get it in time. We'll see.
The idea that I am a Trump supporter is laughable to the man on your screen right now. That is not what this is. I am worried about us. I am ashamed of what's happening around us right now and the relative lack of concern about it.
All right, let me
shouldn't be surprised.
When you say Donald Trump is missing opportunities to unite, there's a part of me that agree with Cuomo on this, because Donald Trump, what he has been doing has been working. But I really do think people are waiting for Donald Trump. Not me. I mean, not the people that's voted for him already, because I don't care what he say. He can get out there and pull his pants down. All I care. I'm still gonna vote for him. I don't care what he do at this point. But pause. But there are some people that are convinced and brainwashed by other people or other networks that make him out to be something he's not, and they leverage that every single time he make a statement like he hate Taylor Swift and stuff. But if he come out and he is Reagan-esque, right? Meaning that he comes out and say, look, America, it's the second time that somebody tried to kill me. We got to stop the rhetoric. I'm not going to name call people anymore. Just do it, Trump. Just do it. Just hold off until you get elected, and you can cuss everybody out. But he's going to say, I'm not going to name call. It's time for us to unite. I'm not a threat to democracy. I love everybody. I want what's best for this country. I mean, just a little heartfelt message where you say, you know what? I could be sitting home on the beach somewhere, but I really care about America. Even if they,
I mean, he said that before, and I'll say this. I don't, again, there's this range of understanding, right, about how the true nature of reality and what it is. But you know, it's the information-based mind control thing. I mean, it's like the people don't understand that aspect of it. Even some of the most based and awake people still don't understand that reach. They haven't gotten to that part yet. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, you know, the universe, or God's universe, how he designed this thing is in control, right? I always think of it as like an automation system, but the you know, and if people, you know, I can talk about this and tell you the understanding and make it all and break it all down, right? But the universe is only going to allow it to get to who it needs to get to. So if you're here and you're hearing my message and you understand what I'm talking about when I talk about these things, you're here for a reason, right? And you're the information, you're wanted to have the information, right? The information in some way, shape, or form, I believe, you know, is for you. But you know, there's so many other people out there. I listen to it all the time. You got to understand the frustration of understanding this, and then seeing people with huge reaches not even get this simple concept of why the other side's so brainwashed. They'll say the words, right, but they won't understand why. And you know, this Trump coming out and making a simple statement is not going to undo that kind of belief system programming. I mean, it just doesn't work that way. And if you've ever interacted with anybody in your life that's on that side, as an establishmentarian, a useful idiot for the establishment, right? And I'm talking like from voter to activist, dude, you can't get through to them with simple talk. It just doesn't work. They have that block. They have that denial reflex, right? They're going to come up with their cognitive dissonance reactions, right? They're going to be sitting there in denial. They're going to throw out the logical fallacies because their premise is false to begin with, right? And then they're going to go into anger when they can't beat you, when you keep beating them with logic, right? And they're going to either fight or fly. And that's just the way it goes with these people. When they're defending a false belief system, man, people just their brain shuts off, right? You don't need MK Ultra or some other kind of BS from the past to make people act that way. The information does it themselves. If you understand the psychiatry of it and how the human brain OS works, then you understand how information-based mind control works and why subversion and demoralization works, right? If it didn't work, people wouldn't do it. It's the bottom line, and yet it's there all the time. And it's like I said, subversion is the film, the invisible film on our skins that people don't see. Like they don't see how they've been subverted. They don't see how information controls their mind. They don't see the narrative they're boxed into. So even somebody up there like on Tatum's level, like who doesn't quite see how the mind control works, right? And I think about why can't I get this message out? Why can't I get people to at least give my my take on it a shot, right? And and I don't understand, but I have to have faith that it's happening for the right reason and the right people are getting the message. So like I just say, if you come here and you listen to this and you understand what I'm talking about, the message is meant for you. The information is meant for you. And if it reaches a broader audience, then it's meant for a broader audience. But for some reason, it's meant for a smaller audience. And that I just learned to accept that and just keep doing what I'm doing. Even though and there's an anxiety inside of me that wants to send it to the masses, right? And wants to get as many people safe from that kind of abuse as I possibly can. Like that's what drives me. But I have to understand that the universe will limit that ability for whatever reason. That's just my take on it. But I do believe if I could actually sit down and have conversations with people and actually not feel rushed and not feel like I'm going to cut off at any second or I'm not going to be able to get the message out in a certain way. Like, if I was to have a conversation with a bunch of big name creators in a room, right? Would they give me a chance to actually get through and talk? Feeling like I could actually have a comfortable conversation to explain it the way I know I can explain it, if that's meant to be, it's meant to be. But if it doesn't happen, I guess there's ultimately a reason for it, and I'll just keep doing it. So if you're here, man, you're part of the solution and you get it. So thank you for being here, and it's an honor to know you, an honored to hang out with you week in and week out.
Try to take my life, and I want us to get out of this political argument and just play the game. Hard to do that. All of us already voted for him, and then you know what the media's going to do? Give him a bunch of earned media because they got to cover it. They can't just let Trump sound like a rational person and that he's turning the corner. They got to cover it and blast him and smear him, and then they're going to just look worse and worse and worse. And people are like,
well, I mean, it looks worse and worse and worse to us, right? But to their base, it's confirming their bias. And that's again, there's so much more to learn about this, what's going on in the world, the true nature of reality and what's going on in the sphere of information in our modern society, the way that it works, I'd love a chance to just sit down and talk with people about that at some point and have them just kind of like, okay, let's take a higher level look at this. Let's take a look at it, why this is happening more so than we see it happening. But I don't think Trump could ever reach many people. Like no matter what he does, he could make it rain money like from the sky and people would still like say it's racist.
I'm tired of it too. It's time to unite. Let me say this and I'm gonna let Cuomo finish.
That's true. We need to unite.
Trump will land. He already in a landslide, in my opinion. He will landslide. If Trump can secure two things, unity and renewal of the economic strength in this country. He already got people's hearts with saying, look, man, the economy was better under Trump. The economy is better under Trump. These Democrats letting all this stuff happen. If somehow he can bring unity, then you have people feeling united and economically free. United, and they feel like their bills are going to be less stressful. You can't beat that. That's it's everybody's bread and butter is the economy is going well, and we don't feel like we hate each other and we want to just burn each other's house down. You have peace, harmony, and economy. I would say peace, harmony, and economy. You win it every time. Road clip.
Yeah, you think so? We kind of did that for a couple of years before Tooth with him, right? And there's still people still weren't happy. They still make excuses. They would say it was because of Obama or whatever, they would go back a step and be like, oh, well, he didn't get that. He inherited it. That's his thing. Then, they come up with any kind of excuses to do that. Right. I think that's where Trump too, like he's like, well, success will bring people together. Not if they're under mind control. And that's the thing that people seem to miss. And that's what the establishment knows, right? That's what they know. That's what the global ownership class knows, is they know that it's mind control and they know how to wield it like a weapon, right? And they do every day. And so as long as we don't understand, this is my big dilemma here. As long as we don't understand that, it's going to keep happening, right? We're not actually attacking the root cause issue. So we're not removing the enablement for it. And that's my big thing here. That's what I talk about all the time. It's like we have to get to the next level of understanding about what's going on in reality, or else we're never going to be winning it. They're always going to be the ones that are pushing their reality on us. And their reality sucks, right? Their reality is about them and about us losing and about them dominating us and about them taking from us and about them crafting and molding the world into what they want it to be, which is dismal for the rest of us. That's the whole concept here. They've run a rigged game. We have to unrig the game to win reality. And that's the whole concept that we're talking about here. And to do that, we have to understand how they rig it. And we have to remove the enablement for that rigging system, right? That cycle of abuse, information-based abuse, traumatic-based abuse, and we have to remove that cycle that empowers them, that divides us. That's what we're talking about here.
I just don't see how we get anywhere better than where we are right now. Look, I'm not blaming Democrats.
You should.
I'm really
you should.
not. I blame the guy. And whatever disease he has that the people around him either knew about and did nothing about. The guy was arrested 20 years ago for barricading himself in a room with all these.
See, again, this is what I'm talking about, guys. I mean, actually, this is going to turn into, what this is going to turn into? It's not going to be about him making a slight little adjustment and apologizing, calling and apologizing to Trump, right? So I think he should have called and apologized to him for much more than just the way people were treating him after the assassination attempt. Much more than that. This is going to turn into an analysis of people who don't understand what's going on in the world in terms of how people come to these places. He goes, whatever sickness that he had, the sickness that he had was listening to people like you on the mainstream media, right? And the sickness that he had was buying into this Russia collusion hoax, right? I've gone over this, and I'm going to keep going over it. How the recent number 2, Ryan Roth, right? This guy wanted World War III, completely wanted World War III. I did this the other night. I went through his X posts. I pulled them up on screen. The ones that he said, we can't stop until Putin is in the coffin and Moscow's in rubble. He was recruiting fighters from around the world. He wanted nuclear weapons to be used. He wanted to buy a missile from Elon and drop it on Putin's mansion in the Dead Sea, if he even has one there. I mean, this guy was delusional because of that information, right? Because of that perception, right? It wasn't because he had a chemical imbalance or he needed, some kind of whatever. Yeah, he did a lot of radical things. That made him the perfect loose cannon to be activated by the information. And what did he do for years and years and years and years and years? He dedicated himself to that. Oh, Memento. Good night, man. Have a great one. Always great to see you, buddy. See you soon. He dedicated himself day in and day out to making this war, a world war. He basically wanted the entire world against Russia, and he wanted to flatten it. And the fact that Trump promised to come in and end it on day one, even before he got inaugurated, by making phone calls and bringing peace, right? That was not the outcome he wanted. He could not live with that, especially after all the time, energy, and effort he put in to trying to eliminate the greatest evil on earth in his mind, right? Where does he get where does he get the motivation to do that? Right? Information, boxed in narratives, and he had he was the perfect candidate, right? That when all the things lined up, he was willing to go take things in his own hand to make sure that a World War III did happen. Like he couldn't have Trump staying in the way of that. He dedicated too much time and energy to it. If you listen to what he said in his videos, you can hear it clearly, and I don't, that's fine. People could say it's the violent rhetoric. I'll tie that in and say, yes, it was. And being encouraged to go do something about it. Right. And the whole Russian collusion hoax narrative, Russia's evil, Russia, they're our boogeyman. They're the ones that are doing all this stuff. Well, meanwhile, if you watch Ukraine on Fire, if you watch the Tucker Carlson Putin interview, you can see, and those two, and that amount of information alone, you can see that the establishment narrative here about Russia isn't true, right? I'm not saying anything good or bad about them. I'm just saying that what they've told us about them isn't true, right? And what they think is about them isn't true. And that's where they're going with that, right? So this guy latches onto it, and he becomes, he decides that he's already dedicated himself to the cause, right? He's already been out there for years trying to recruit the entire world and making, I don't know, he's probably making half the shit up. I'm sure he is. I got 20,000 Afghan fighters that'll come here, but the Ukrainians won't take them, and blah, 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 all this other shit, right? It's probably just delusional shit, because he's so driven by the idea this is a battle, a fundamental battle of good and evil between the rest of the world and Putin and Russia, and that the only solution is the entirety of Russia and Putin are eliminated. That's it. There's no other way. So that's what drove him to it. But that's what it was. It wasn't just his his mental capacity. It was the fact that mental capacity was triggered by information, and that's how information-based mind control works. Judge says Trump 2024 advantage over 16 and 20. He has quality surrogates now, JD, Vivek, and a few others, and they can be hatchmen brutal and allow Trump to rise above and see the Reagan-esque. Yes, to seem Reagan-esque. Absolutely.
These weapons. Where are we caring about one another? Where are we taking care of our own? Where are we pushing to get help?
Do you see the puzzlement? I'm going to get out of this because we're going to analysis here, and we're supposed to be like kicked back on tonight. So I'm kind of in 2024 mode right now. But do you see how he has no answers? You see how he's asking questions and has no answers? Why are we? He just wants someone to come give him the answer. When I asked the same questions, I went out and found answers. I found the answers, and I kept vetting them, and I kept drilling down on them. I kept questioning to the void. That's how you get answers. You don't just go, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? I hope he keeps asking that question to himself. I hope it keeps him up at night, because that may drive him to actually go do the same research and question to the void like I've done. And maybe then he'll get the information. I don't know. I don't particularly like the guy. But that's good that he's come around. At least he's not chilling for the establishment as much anymore, but he needs to get on the Trump train or shut up. All right. Enough of him. Let's move on. Okay. So did you guys hear about the $1 billion lawsuit against CNN? I haven't. Let's check this out together. I like to bring this guy on. He's pretty based. He's pretty level-headed. State of Daniel. Let's talk to him. Let's go.
The $1 billion defamation lawsuit
Hey, Nacho,
against
how you
CNN
doing?
could
Welcome.
get a lot bigger. Earlier this year, I made a video outlining the details of this case. I'm going to pin it in the comments down below for those of you who haven't seen it and want more information.
Yep.
But as a very brief overview, this has to do with a segment that Jake Tapper ran. Now, this was during the Afghanistan withdrawal. Jake Tapper began talking about, quote, black markets, and this segment was about scam artists and scammers conning people and charging, quote, exorbitant fees to get out of Afghanistan. And specifically, they targeted allegedly this one gentleman named Zachary Young. This is his photo that they used. And again,
Scam artists charging people.
Black market, they talk about exorbitant fees. Well, one of the reasons defamation cases are so hard to win is you have to prove intent. You have to prove actual malice. Well, I'm going to play you a clip from my previous video showing that Zachary Young's legal team was able to find evidence supporting that perhaps there was malice, perhaps there was ill intent coming from CNN. This is from my video earlier this year. You see, part of what makes defamation cases so difficult to win is that you actually have
hold on, we got some good stuff coming in here from the last segment. Let's keep talking about it if you guys want to. Judge Maddie, it says indoctrinated system pigs will never cross that line because for them it's personal. Trump personally offends them. Yeah, that's the slander campaign. That's the archetype overriding. They overwrite the archetype by using an archetype of evil, and then they say it repeatedly on loop. Trump is Hitler, Trump is Hitler, Trump is Hitler. Over and over again. They keep bringing it up every time he does something. They bring it up. Fascist. And they keep using the same words and using the archetypes of evil. So when people take a guy who was well liked and well known before he ran for president, became an enemy of the state, they could overwrite that idea about him with that type of indoctrination, right? So yeah, it is personal to them. It's a false belief system that's been put there through information-based mind control, like I'm saying, the repetition, the boxed-in narrative, and then the shame of going outside of it, right? So these people are all boxed in. Of course, these are also low information people, the headline readers, soundbite believers. things like that, right? So you already had that going for them, and then you add in a slander campaign on top of that, and in no time flat, you know, and then you add in the hatred of from the left to the right, right? The Democrats to the Republicans, believing that the Republicans, the archetype of evil. Of course, they were trained in that through college and all their life with the false left right paradigm, how that worked out, right? So it becomes real easy. So it becomes real easy to demonize people and turn them into these faces of evil for a whole segment of our population that's still asleep. You know, the woke population, they're not awake, but they're woke, right? Those people. Yep. All right. Again, $1 billion lawsuit over Afghanistan, CNN. I hope it's 2 billion.
Have to prove and show malicious intent. Well, according to the official filing in Florida's First District Court of Appeals, Zachary Young was able to get his hands on internal communications at CNN and submit those as evidence. In those messages, CNN employees called him bag and asshole and remarked that they were going to nail this Zachary Young. Marquardt referred.
Well, there you go. Look at that internal communications from the prostitutes and CNN, all the, you know, all the useful idiots there. Wow, they're gonna nail him. They're gonna nail this guy, right? Wow. That's the kind of people that work there. That's the way they're all getting off on each other.
To him as Young and quipped, "It's your funeral, bucko." So that all ultimately led to this $1 billion defamation lawsuit against CNN. And it wasn't just that one Jake Tapper segment. Sure, he ran a segment talking about black markets, exorbitant fees, and used Zachary Young's image, but there were actually multiple segments on TV as well as online. And then obviously those internal communications, well, they didn't help CNN's case at all. Now, according to a court filing, we know that CNN attempted to get Zachary Young to agree to a settlement offer, but those settlement talks, well, they apparently fell apart. According to the court filing, the mediator files his report to the court and advises that a mediation conference was held on September 11, 2024, at which the parties and attorneys of record appeared in person. The court is further advised that the parties were unable to reach any agreement and an impasse was declared, dated this 13th day of September 2024. Fox News even confirms this in their headlines. CNN fails to settle defamation suit with Navy veteran who says Jake Tapper's segment, quote, destroyed his reputation. Now, we don't know exactly what CNN was trying to get Zachary to settle, but we do know it must have been substantial, right? Because this was a $1 billion defamation suit. While the amount offered to make the lawsuit go away was not disclosed, it would have needed to be fairly substantial to negate the allure of a possible $1 billion, possibly more, between compensatory, emotional, and punitive damages. And this apparently was not a surprise to Zachary Young's legal team at all. In fact, earlier in June, Young's lawyer predicted this on the record to Newsbusters. When asked about the possibility of a settlement back in June, Young's lead counsel, Val Friedman, of Friedman Norman Friedland LLP, told Newsbusters it was, quote, so far off the table. He also said there was, quote, zero chance this case gets stopped before trial, and that the goal was to quote, take CNN to task. Now, Zachary Young apparently lives in Austria in Europe, and CNN begged him to come to Florida. This was from their court filing. Cable News Network, Inc., CNN, files this opposition to plaintiff's motion to allow Zachary Young to attend mediation remotely. And the reason he wanted to attend this remotely is because Zachary Young, from what I understand, actually suffers from an injury that he received while he was serving in the military. It pains him, physically pains his legs to sit for long periods of time. And so obviously flying from Austria to Florida, you know, that would be very painful. Well, as it turns out, it sounds like CNN was able to force Zachary Young to come to Florida. When we look at the reports, you know, it says the parties and attorneys of record appeared in person. Again, this is just my understanding. I don't have any insider knowledge on that. But if that is the case, if they did force him to attend that hearing, that mediation hearing, I'm sure that did not help CNN's settlement case at all. Now, News has more details on this $1 billion case. Young's lead counsel, Val Friedman, was unable to say exactly what CNN offered his client during last week's confidential meeting, but he said in a statement, Mr. Young is looking forward to trial this January and looks forward to presenting his case to a jury of his peers. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Friedman has predicted the damages could amount to more than $1 billion based on Florida's laws around punitive damages and Young's legal burden to prove malice. So that could get very interesting. And then Fox News followed up announcing that because this case appears to be moving forward to trial, this could spill all of CNN's secrets to the public. According to Fox News, defamation lawsuit against CNN would expose companies' financial secrets as court seeks to expose CNN's net worth. And the reason this is interesting is because earlier in the year, CNN laid off many staffers. So I'm sure many of those staffers, many current staffers who are currently employed, well, I'm sure they're going to be interested in not only what is CNN worth, but what is Jake Tapper's salary? Because because I'm sure he's being paid lots, and now he could potentially cost CNN $1 billion or more. The Washington Examiner has more details on this.
That'd be so great.
Essentially, this will act as
I really
a
hope this
double check to
happens.
see if CNN was being honest with the financial documents they were turning over as part of discovery, comparing what they turned over to Young's legal team versus what they told corporate. He noted that Judge Henry signaled that punitive damages sought against CNN could go beyond the simple net worth of the network. So that is huge. Puck News, which is known in the entertainment industry, they're one of the industry standards. They're one of the industry, I forget the exact term, but they're one of the papers that people in entertainment go to. Well, according to Puck, they wrote this. Accordingly, Young's attorneys will soon be receiving documents to assess CNN's net worth so they can argue before a jury just how big a penalty Young should receive. So this is all huge news. You know, it started off as a $1 billion lawsuit. This could get a lot bigger. CNN attempted to settle this. They failed to settle this. And now, you know, their financial secrets could be exposed. And what I played earlier, you know, the internal communications of them talking about Young using such a vulgar language, clearly, apparently, you know, with malice, with ill intent. If they are able to blow the lid on CNN for such reckless journalism on this story, it makes you wonder, well, what else has CNN treated with these sort of gloves? What other stories?
Everything, right? Everything. Thanks, Daniel. Everything. That you know, corruption is corruption. You know, and what Jake Tapper and all these guys are clowns, right? They're sold out prostitutes. Sold out prostitutes. Indeed. Yeah. They always do it to further their agenda, but further their master's agenda, their establishment agenda. You know, they cover things up, they omit things, they go out, they attack people, they do all the dirty stuff. That's what we got to deal with, and that's what we got to clean up on the tail end of success against the establishment. Anytime we get a chance, we got to go back to cleaning up information and holding companies like CNN and others accountable financially. And if they want to keep doing the same old garbage, they can just go out of business, paying fines and you know, losing sponsors and losing viewership. You know, that's the only way you got to beat a monster like that, unless you violate some. You know, you don't want to go too far, because then you got the freedom of speech, and we have to go by our own rules, right? They're the ones who break our rules. We will. Pay for sorry if that glitched right there for a second. Seems like I'm getting some interference here. Give it 1 second. It should come back. Okay, sorry. I had to check to make sure. Okay, we're back. I had to check to make sure that the signal was coming through all right. I saw it kind of glitching out. I tried to, you know, make sure you guys have the best reception possible if I can. All right. So, you know, yeah, I mean, that's one thing we have to clean up, but we have to get through this election and get it done. All right. So, let's take a look at, let's see. Oh yeah. What's in this? What's in my bookmarks? I'll make sure I remember to go through some of these other ones. Let's see. Is that good news or 2044? Oh yeah. Let's go through this. Huh, why not? This is good news. Can I have to watch this like this? Okay, there we go. All right, I'm gonna pop over here to X here real quick and talk about this Charlie Cook Vivek Ramaswamy on the street thing they did at college campus, right? And this is labeled look at these guys. It's college. So college. All right. Labeled Vivek shows a masterclass on how to win argument with the youth while imparting knowledge. And this is a double header because this girl tries to like flash him at the same time. So unfortunately you don't get to see anything, it's blurred out, but that's just the way it goes. All right, here we go.
Do you feel proud of yourself for debating college kids who are unprepared to speak in front of an audience like yourself?
I mean, look at this girl, dude. This party girl. Well, she probably got alcohol in that drink right there. Look at the face. But you know, they're coming out there with that false logic like that, and they're gonna answer it the same way I would. No one asked you to come up to the mic.
Hold on. You're 30 years old. We can agree you're 30 years old, right?
She started out one thing and then jumped to another. Lack of brain cells. Lack of brain cells.
Do you think that's a little bit silly?
Are you a voter?
I am a voter. I'm a
So
registered
I
voter.
vote and you vote. So I'm talking to voters of this country that will determine the future of Western civilization. That's what I'm doing here today.
Sorry, party girl.
Wait, hold on. How is it any different than a professor
She looked like she was getting ready to swallow that mic.
talking to you?
Then a professor talking to you? Who are you?
Well, important enough for you to come up to a microphone.
Actually, when I first saw this ad, I thought it was like an improv comedy thing. It looked so ridiculous that I didn't even think it was real.
Well, no, you could see. Look how popular Trump is on your campus. How does that make you feel? That's not comedy. That is a 5-alarm fire for Kamala Harris because she's probably going to lose Pennsylvania.
Look.
Let's go.
But no, I just want to be clear. Is there something wrong with talking to voters?
No, there's nothing wrong with talking.
Well, that's
to
what we're doing here today. It's an open mic.
I think that you push a dangerous agenda.
So now you're getting around to it, right? So you thought you could like catch them with your high IQ there, quote unquote. You thought you're gonna catch this guy, Charlie Kirk, in a trap, some kind of trap, and get him to say something. Oh my God, she's right. I'm 30 and I'm talking to people. Oh no.
Jazz?
Your stance on abortion rights, for example.
Oh, here it is. Here it comes. She wants to make sure, when she's out at a party, things, she can do whatever she wants to, and then not have to worry about consequences.
Here we go. Okay, so
let me ask a question. What is your name?
Jean.
Jean. And what is your understanding of the current Republican Party's stance on federal intervention in abortion?
So look at what Vivek just did right there. He established a better line of communication, right? So he asked a question back to this, hey Latine, how you doing? Good to see you. So see how he did that? That's why Vivek's so damn good, man. He stopped everything and goes, okay, let's get this thing back on track. He's fixing any kind of communication breakdowns by making sure they understand where they have a starting point, right? So watch what he does from here.
Well, I know that they want to bring it back to the states, right?
So it sounds like you do know that the Republican Party's current stance on abortion is they're against a federal ban on abortion.
I do
And
understand.
we're talking about a presidential election as the important election that we're talking about.
So look, you see what he just did right there? He said, so you know that they're against the federal ban, right? You guess so you know that they want to let the states decide it pretty much.
About here.
I understand that. Yes.
Great. So again, I think this open dialogue is great. I think it's great you're here challenging Charlie, and I think it's great that he's willing to travel campuses across this country to talk to the next generation. We need more conversation. Now, where's the disagreement, though, on content? Because you could criticize style or why you're talking to people or dunk on someone personally, but where do you actually disagree with
I agree
substance?
with the way that you edit content and specifically frame it.
She has no idea what she's talking about right here. She's just heard this. She's just heard this. This is hearsay, really.
So that people look bad talking to you.
That's what they tell her is happening. I doubt she's ever. She said it was a comedy thing, and right, and she came up and she said she thought it was a comedy thing, and then she thinks this, and now she knows who he is. She's been lying the whole time. She's been not showing her true self. Red flag.
The way that you edit your content.
we post unedited content.
Frozen. See, she's never watched his content, so she doesn't know. I mean, look, she's been out all night. Look at those bags under her.
Let me just ask you one thing though, because personal insults can fly in all directions. Where is an area where you have a disagreement with the conservative movement, with Donald Trump, with Charlie Kirk, perhaps with myself? I was a presidential candidate last year. I think we need to talk about that more in the open. And the more we do, the stronger our country is going to be. We got a long line of people, but I want to hear from you one substantive area where you have an authentic disagreement, and I'd be glad to address it. I'm sure Charlie would too.
Just in anything, any
Related.
political.
Look, she's like totally off guard. Now here she goes. Watch what she does. Watch her hand right here. Watch this. Watch what she does here. When in doubt, whip it out.
Relating to any political topic where you have a disagreement, let's air it.
Okay. I disagree with some of the laws that are being pushed in Congress that are against the LGBTQ community.
Oh my God.
And the trans community.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Let's about that.
I'm going to give you my view, and then I want to hear yours.
Okay.
My view is that if you're a fully grown adult, 18 or above, you're free to live how you want, dress how you want, marry who you want if you want, if you're over the age of 18.
I agree.
But you are not
Count,
free
what's up? How you
to
doing, man?
indoctrinate children in schools who are not yet of the age of consent. You are not free, just as you're a 17-year-old or a 15-year-old can't get a tattoo on their own. I don't think that you should be able to go or until the age of 18.
What happened there?
And so the lines that I draw here is that men are free to claim to be women and swim in swimming pools. You're not free to claim trophies in a women's sports competition. You're not free to enter a women's locker room. You're not free to change a language, and you're not free to actually indoctrinate our children who are under the age of 5 in
Where's
school.
Pete's?
Do we agree on the fact that adults should be able to live freely while still treating children differently? If so, we're on the same side of this issue.
Boom. Here it goes. Here it goes. Watch the hand.
Listen, I agree with the majority of what you said. However, I don't think that you're understanding the implications of the laws that are trying to be passed.
Right.
Look, we got a head start in the conversation. We got a long line behind you. But my only ask is forget the personal attacks or the stylistic attacks. Focus on substance. The more we debate that, the stronger we're going to be as a country. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I don't think you're focusing on substance, though. That's the issue.
Hold on. But he intentionally tried to provoke substance out of you. And you said, well, I'm worried about some laws Congress should pass. I have to ask, what laws are you talking about?
There it is, guys. See? There it is. When in doubt, whip it out. It's like all she knows. She has her drink, her drinky drink. She's been out all night. And yep, there it is. There you have it.
Can you be specific?
I'm sorry, I'm very nervous. But
Yeah, you are.
This is
I
what
bet.
you do.
You're just
This is
looking
what
at
you
your
do. You
nipple in
take
front of
people
Vivek Ramaswamy
and you
and
put
Charlie
them
Kirk.
under the spotlight, and you.
Well, hold on. I didn't ask you to come up here. You voluntarily came to the front of the line. You didn't have to do that.
You're purposely antagonizing people on campus, asking
How?
people to come up by spreading your weird agenda.
Why does she buck her teeth out like that when she talks? That's cute or funny? I don't know.
How? What agenda is that? I'm confused though.
So, Charlie, I'll say this. We'll
Yes,
end on this and we'll
Nacho.
go to the next question. When I was 18, I'm not going to blame you for this. I also took for granted a lot of the stuff that the media force fed me, because that's what you know at the age of 18. You say there are some vague laws making their way through Congress that are hostile to
Do
trans
you
community.
know how?
I don't think those
do you
laws
know
actually
about?
exist, but I don't blame you if
Listen to
that's
me.
what the cable media is feeding you.
So that's
But
mind
let's get
control.
to the specifics, and then we're able to actually have an open dialogue. That's one of the things I've learned over the last 20 years.
I think that the
that's
issue
part
is
of-
we're getting our
part of
media
learning
from
our
different
country.
sources. Both
Well, you're kind of on track.
people are getting media from these skewed sources.
Yeah, like the CNN, like we just talked about.
The facts that you're presenting are not always correct.
And that's why we're here with no TV screens between us. So people who have policy-based substantive disagreements, we invite those. I think that's how we're going to get our country back. And as it relates to trans, which you brought up, 18 or above, you're free to live how you want. You're not free to force that onto somebody else, or especially kids. And if we agree on
Thank
that,
you
we
very
make some
much.
progress.
Thank you.
Boom. Vivek. Slam dunk.
Disagreements, yeah.
Yep. Goodbye. Goodbye. Go sleep it off. Go sleep it off. Yep. It's crushed him, man. He's so good at what he does. Like, just having conversations with people and understanding how to stay calm in a conversation and how to redirect things back to the premises and actually have communication. You know, it's like it's so missing in our society right now. So missing. All right. Back to the where was I at? Yeah. I got anything on his that's kind of good newsy. Okay, so you know, if you're in Virginia, early voting started. So, by the way, FYI. Let's see. Race hustling. I did the illegal ballot scandal already, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, this one. Let me tell you what. One thing about the Harris campaign and like what's going on with them, right, is that they have the worst endorsements I've ever seen, and they're proud of them. Like, we got McCain, we got Cheney, we got the Bushes, you know, Goldman Sachs, and now guess who else has endorsed Kamala Harris and Joe Biden? A freaking IRS.
In a move that explains exactly why, my friends, you should not vote for Kamala Harris. The IRS has endorsed her. I absolutely love this.
I mean, come on, dude. And Putin, too.
IRS agents endorse Kamala Harris. And we have this from MCR TV. The IRS Agents Union endorses Kamala Harris, citing her Inflation Reduction Act windfall. I'd like to give a round of applause to the IRS for possibly one of the best moves in support of Donald Trump. Everybody hates the IRS. Sorry. Right? They just do. Did you know that the IRS has armed law enforcement agents? People don't realize this because they actually have to go enforce tax law. I'm totally fine with it. I mean, I'm not a big fan of taxes, but I recognize so long as we have taxes, you are going to need enforcement. And so they have armed IRS agents. They bought them a bunch of guns and hollow point bullets, and everybody was like, I'm kind of with that. So basically, here's what's happening. Why are they endorsing Kamala Harris? Well, my friends, I'm going to tell you in my words. It's because thanks to Kamala and Joe Biden, 87,000 new agents got jobs. 87,000. And those 87,000 employees are probably like, I like my job. I like that I got hired. Everybody should vote for Kamala Harris. Trump's going to fire IRS agents. That's right. So they're not going to endorse him. Welcome to reality, my friends. They lied. They claimed the 87,000 agents are going to be so they can go after the millionaires and the billionaires that are not paying their fair share. The millionaires and the billionaires, they say. Yeah, well,
there's not even that many millionaires and billionaires to go after, is it? Was it like 500 billionaires or something like that? You need 85,000 IRS agents to do that? For what?
I'll tell you this. There's very few of them. You don't need 87,000 employees to go after a tiny handful of ultra wealthy individuals who, by the way, have the means to fight back through lawyers.
Right.
The 87,000 agents are for you, America.
Yep.
I'll tell you what's going to happen next year. For some of you, it already happened. I know because you've messaged me. You went to the mailbox. You're going through your mail. You got some bills. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Milk is expensive. Bread and eggs are expensive. You're trying to make ends meet. I've seen the videos. There's a dad saying, I can't afford to feed my daughters. What am I supposed to do? The costs are too high. And as you're going through these bills, what do you see? IRS sends you a letter. And you open it up, and there it is. And it says that you owe $223. And you say to yourself, what do I owe the IRS $223 for? This is ridiculous. Now, there are services. They've sponsored the show in the past. They say any amount they come after you for, call them. They will help you. But for the average person, and you probably should do everything you can and look at it as best you can. But you might get a bill for $75. And you're like, what's it worth? Most people are just going to pay it. They're just going to pay it. That's the point of 87,000 new agents, because they're coming for you, middle America. They're coming for you, working class Joes. I already have people messaging me saying they got a bill for $1,000 or something like that, and they have no idea how to pay it. Well, here we go. The union that represents the nation's IRS agents announced Wednesday it is endorsing Kamala Harris. Vice President Harris has played a role in one of the most pro-labor administrations in history, they say. It's the National Treasury Employees Union. The administration also delivered agency budgets that provide federal employees with additional staffing and resources, including significant new investments to rebuild the IRS under the Inflation Reduction Act. Harris, they say, however, the IRS expansion won't just increase union membership. It'll also help the agency to collect an additional $5 trillion of tax increases Harris wants. Analysis by Americans for Tax Reform finds. Harris's proposed tax increase will kill jobs in the private sector, but create jobs for IRS agents. Agents certainly appreciate her call to make the IRS even larger and more powerful if she wins the presidency. Agents will be hired and deployed to implement the $5 trillion of tax increases Harris wishes to impose over the next decade.
Oh.
And they'll lie to you. They're saying, no, there will be no new taxes on anybody who's earning less than $400,000. Trump's just saying this because he wants to give his millionaire buddies tax cuts. They're not going to raise your taxes. What they're going to do is they're going to say, you forgot to pay a tax you already owed. They're going to say, no, we didn't change the tax law. We just realized that you missed us. How do I know? They want reporting on all transactions over $600 so they can nickel and dime you. What do we have here? Someone just...
Oh, ouch. That sucks. Well, dude, I don't think the IRS endorsing Harris is going to do her any favors. And I think that needs to be put out there more and more. Of course, the brainwashed establishment, useful idiots, they're going to vote for her. Will probably not even believe it's happening. Jesus, man. Oh man, let me jump back over here and see what else I got in there. This good news pile here. We did that one already. We did that one. Okay. Yeah. Come on. What other outrageous endorsements can she get? This film looks really good, and I know it's out, but I'm gonna do back to back, Timmy here. But I'm not going to do not going to do the whole thing, just some of it, in case you haven't heard about this film. Am I Racist? Another Matt Walsh film, but this one seems to be really getting a lot of attention. Like it's like really good. So we can't show, probably not going to show it on Old School Watch Party Sundays for a while, just because it just came out. We give it time to breathe. So we'll probably watch it down the road, but we will watch it eventually.
Then we have this story from Awards Daily, as well as big news from ABC. Am I Racist has cracked the box office top 5. The new film from the Daily Wire and Matt Walsh is, in my opinion,
nice.
I got to say it, masterpiece. It is a masterpiece. I really do think so. And what do I mean by that?
Yeah, the IRS.
It may sound a bit over the top, but let me explain. Am I Racist? I've seen the clips. I thought they were funny. I said, this looks fantastic. It looked like it's going to be great. What Is a Woman was already fantastic. I went and saw the movie. The audience score on Rotten Tomatoes right now, 99 with 500 plus verified ratings. Verified hot, they say, but there's no critic score. It's a media blackout. The media has a blackout on Am I Racist by Matt Walsh and the Daily Wire. Let me tell you about this film, and then I'll read this for you, and I'll give you a little background
Let's
first.
hear about it real quick.
I hope many of you have seen this. You need to go see it. It's not political, it's a comedy. Matt Walsh doesn't come into this film saying, these are grifters, they're racists, they're causing all these problems. He doesn't preach. Masterfully done. The reason why I say it's a masterpiece is, one, it's a funny film. It's a comedy movie. It is a straight comedy mockumentary. If you like comedy films, you will like this. It's the best thing I have seen the Daily Wire do. And a lot of people have been critical of Daily Wire's, past attempts, but this is where they've really figured it out. They're not preaching to you. They're not telling you what you should believe. They're literally just doing comedy. There's a fight scene where Matt Walsh is fighting. I'm telling you, it's a comedy. There's slapstick where Matt Walsh fumbles and he's dropping things. I'm telling you, it is a comedy film. The whole theater was laughing. The reason why I say it's a masterpiece, it accomplishes so much. Despite the media blackout, okay, they clearly don't want to admit that the movie is good. But let me tell you this. If you are someone who's not political and you bring your friends, they will laugh their asses off at the jokes. Excellent and well done. It's well produced. It's got good music. The editing is perfect in the beginning. I have no notes. As a film, I say, I got nothing else. I'd say it's a great movie. You got to see it. But what it accomplishes, several of the DEI grifters have deactivated their accounts on X, issued statements saying, oh, geez, oh no. The film exposes the absurdity and hypocrisy of their psychotic positions without insulting them directly. They let these people roast themselves with the absurdity of their own positions. Matt Walsh takes a very comedic Socratic method. When he sits down with his DEI grifters, one woman saying, like, you got to talk to...
All right, I tell you what. I really want to watch this now. But I'll tell you what I can do. Since I don't want to put it out while it's still in theaters and he needs to make his money back and then he needs to get out there, I don't want to put a stream of it up. It's not that kind of thing, right? But we can watch it, maybe have a Discord watch night, right? So if you think you'd like to watch this and you're not already in the Discord, get in the Discord. I'll figure it out. It may just be, a handful of us or something, but I'll figure it out. So we'll do a watch night. If we can do it, we can do it. So if you're not in the Discord and you want to be in the Discord, let me know and we'll get you in the Discord. So if I know you, you're all good. All right. Check this out. Talking Trash Truth, thank you for the $20 super chat. She says yes. I guess that's a yes to doing the Discord watch party movie. All right, let's go. All right, now we got to do it. We'll have to figure it out. All right, cool. All right, so I think we get the gist of that. We'll check it out ourselves. Thank you, Timmy. Dun 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 dun. Timmy. All right. What else we got here? I was like, okay, where are we at? 1:30. Cool. Sounds good to me. Yeah, there you go. You know where the good times are at. Please and thank you. What's that? What is that? What did you send? What is it? I don't even see it on the. Oh, you're on. Okay, never mind. All right. Wow, that was a lot of echo there. What else we got here, guys? Let's see. Elon's going to be talking with President Milei of Argentina. That should be interesting. Just a little bit off the cusp news there. And it might be almost time for funny videos. We're almost to the end here. I wanted to see this thing by Dom Lucre about the Diddy thing. I know I said I wasn't going to cover any of it, but let's see what something about betrayal. Whenever they eat their own, that's good news. Let's check this out real quick. This just came out like a couple hours ago. Dom Lucre. Oops, now I just totally messed it up by clicking when I wanted to. How about that? How dare I do some things like this? All right.
A guy on the internet the other day who said he used to be your security guard, who said that when you were dating J-Lo, Will Smith and Jada tried to pick her up on a threesome and you were going to beat up Will Smith. Is that true?
Pay attention to the face. This is very, very important. I'm not going to waste your time.
This show has gotten crazier since the last time No, it's all about love, though. That's not true. You really heard that? What? Yeah, I watched it on the internet. You're telling me I can't believe everything?
1 second. He said you really heard that, huh? Look at how he's looking at Kimmel.
What? Yeah, I watched it.
As if he's heard it from higher uppers. Like, oh, I can't believe they're saying this out loud publicly.
On the internet. You're telling me I can't believe everything I read? I don't know what you're talking about. Jimmy, I thought we was friends. What is this?
I thought we were friends. So look, the world is a whole stage, right? And this whole scenario, you can see that Diddy was very off guard about this question because Diddy has been on Jimmy Kimmel Show multiple times. And what makes this so significant that this entire interview, it took place in October. This is significant because Diddy was charged in November. How is it that Diddy was charged just a month after? So he was charged with that lawsuit just a month after. In 2023, on November 2023, that lawsuit appeared. Do you notice that Jimmy Kimmel, like I said, he's been on this show multiple times. Why is it that Jimmy Kimmel chose at this opportunity a month before? Because they were starting the character assassinations. This stuff ain't conspiracies, man. Why in the world did they target Diddy a month before the lawsuit? I did some research into this and I saw this video and I said, well, that's interesting. I wouldn't expect Kimmel to do that, you know, in given these recent events. I was like, I wonder if it correlates with the time that he got his lawsuit. And it blew me when I saw this just a month apart. I can pull this up right here and show you. So right here, it shows. Boom.
So yeah, but see, Jimmy Kimball's such an idiot. Someone just fed him the fucking line. They either fed him the rumor or they put it up there for him to say, oh yeah, talk about this. Jimmy Kimmel's an idiot. So that, you know, he just does what he's told. He's an actor. He's an actor comedian. So kinda. It's not really that funny, but
I look at the Diddy lawsuit 2023. The indictment comes months after several lawsuits that began in November 2023. November 2023 is when the lawsuit started. Now, this episode, typically, if you want to find it, you got to look up Diddy speaks about taking a toxic toad. It's a form of DMT or whatever, toad poison. That's typically how you can find this. But look at this dating of this real quick. It's showing right here where it's posted on abc.com on October 30th, 2023. Diddy literally looked at him like, oh, there's things going on behind the scenes. Like I said, Eddie Griffin already alleged that Lucien Grange, the Universal CEO, the CEO of Universal Music, was tied into the Diddy thing. And he believes that Diddy had tapes of him, which led to all this. Like, that's hearsay. It's all allegations. I'm not stating that. But what I will state, there is a correlation between Jimmy Kimmel, who was a friend of Diddy, coming out to expose him a month before the lawsuits. There are coincidences, possibly. But this would be one of the largest coincidences in a long time. I mean, truthfully, just a month apart. And then the lawsuits come. If you look at the facial expressions, if you look at the way that Diddy was looking in his body language, he went to Jimmy Kimmel expecting a friend and expecting safety. He did not expect to be bombarded with the allegation of what a security guard did. And what makes it very important is, guess when he gets sued in November, it was linked to the security guard. That means this message was sent down. Now, I'm not saying Diddy is innocent, and I ain't no Diddy advocate.
All right.
But what I'm simply stating, just like Epstein, it appears that they choose the right moments to seek justice. They allow for so many people to be abused just to get what they want, or they will continue to allow people to be abused until they don't get what they want. There's a good chance that Diddy had information on somebody and they didn't like that, and it was going to get released, or possibly just had it in a safe. Someone told someone, and he got too sloppy. Like I said, Celebrities are an extension of media, and so are late night TV shows. Late night TV shows get the message, then celebrities react to it. But
which are an extension of the establishment. Thanks, Dom. All right, we'll catch you on the flip side, buddy. I found something else too. Let's see. Oh yeah, I meant to. I would have been mad if I didn't cover this. I would have forgotten about it. So I got to make sure I do that. Let me speed it up here. Put it on winning speed. All right. We got to talk about the Oprah event with Harris, with Kamala Harris. This thing was the biggest piece of garbage. Like I said, I watched the Wisconsin's her speech in Wisconsin. It was nothing, no substance at all, of course. And same with the Oprah thing. So let's bring in a decoy voice to run us through it here real quick.
Kamala Harris sat down with Oprah and her still digital audience.
Look at that. That's like the Thunderdome from WWE. Look at this. Look at this. Like, all these people that are up here on the screen, right? And then these people in the audience, they're all look at these people, man. Oh my God. Right? They're all paid to be there, or they're all like special MVPs or whatever, or RSPs or VIPs or whatever you want to call them. Look at all these idiots, right? They've got the backgrounds on. You know, it's just estrogen and soy everywhere.
But immediately began rambling off her signature nonsense.
We love our country. I love our country. We love our country. We can and must come together. Let's come together, which is we are an optimistic people. We are an optimistic people. Dreams.
It's just a bunch of bullshit, man. I mean, it's like these compilations make it so clear.
We believe in fighting for that.
And if you're confused as to what's actually in that word salad, so was Oprah, as nobody knows what she was saying, as there's absolutely zero substance to her responses to even simple questions.
We really would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Yeah.
You see the deer in the headlights in that question? Oh God, not again, not the economy again.
First of all, thank you both for being here and rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams.
Rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams. I'm wondering, I'm starting to get like a little creative idea here. I'm wondering if like we would just take everything she says and like put it in someone else's words. No, not words, in their voice. What if I like took everything she said and put it in Trump's voice and put it out there like Trump was saying it, and then have the left talk about what an idiot he is? Like, oh my God, listen to how he doesn't make any sense. I wonder if I could troll him with that. I might just have to do a little something.
And ambitions for your family and working hard and finding that the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's been.
And sadly, this wasn't the first time she said the American dream is dead.
The American dream is elusive. It's just actually not attainable.
So when the current vice president of the party that's been in power for 12 of the last 16 years, that spent the last 3 bragging about Bidenomics, openly admits they made the American dream impossible, if there's still people openly supporting her, I'm genuinely scared for our economy. That's why it's great we have the sponsor for today's video, PDS Debt. In this account, debt for PDS Debt.
Probably not. But you want to run, would you?
As before, PDSdebt.com/decoy voice. But
Yeah.
Oprah wasn't always just establishment propaganda.
Look
As
at that
before
hair.
most of us were born, she had
Ooh,
Donald
girl.
Trump on before he was orange.
And I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
I had to stop and look at the hair for a minute. Good Lord, she thought that looked good that day. Holy cow. It's like she has a mushroom helmet on or something. Look at that.
Probably not. But I do get tired of seeing the country ripped.
Why would you not?
Oh, yeah,
I just
I
don't
was just
think
thinking about that
I
notch.
really
The
have the
story clip's
inclination to do it. I
hilarious.
love what I'm doing. I really like it. But I do get tired of seeing
If
what's
it's not in
happening
here,
in
I'll
this
go
country.
find
And if
it.
it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally, because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country.
And 3 decades later, Oprah's audience has seemingly gotten smaller, even when hosting a current candidate for president. Meanwhile, Trump sees thousands, even when visiting deep blue New York, which makes Kamala's campaign crowds look pathetic by comparison, especially when you add in attendees that were bussed in from out of state. But that's not the worst part, as Oprah's live stream with Harris only brought in 9,000 concurrent viewers, which, to put in perspective, is barely more than the live viewers that I see on a live stream. When a billionaire talk show host and current candidate for president can barely get more interest than me, a Kirkland Rand Tim Pool on YouTube, I'm starting to doubt the presidential race is as tight as they say it is. Now, 538 still shows Kamala ahead in the polls. I just have a hard time believing people are that passionate for a cackling president.
Freedom to make decisions about your own body, freedom to be safe from gun violence, freedom to have access to the ballot box, freedom to be who you are and just be, to love who you love openly and with pride, freedom to just be.
Oh my God, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Which looks oddly similar to how the National Association of Black Journalists also reacted to Carambola. As their reactions are actually priceless, as they've never been more relatable. As this is the face of someone thinking, how is this real life? Or do I really need this job? Because not everybody has agreed to be a part of the propaganda machine, but everybody has worked a job that has asked them to do something unreasonably stupid. And they thought, can I afford to put my pride over my paycheck? Or in their situation, is this paycheck going to be worth cashing out my credibility? Because at some point their job stopped being journalism and just became propaganda. As this is the National Association for Black Journalists questioning Trump.
You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe Black district attorneys. You've attacked Black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist.
Compared to their question for Kamala.
Why is joy important to you to insert into this election?
This is beyond North Korean propaganda, beyond Babylon Bee parody.
Oh my
this
God.
is asking one candidate, why are you such a raging racist? Then asking the other candidate, why are you so joyful? And although I do understand why you'd want to hand your home team an easy win, I just don't know why you'd do it for a so-called teammate that doesn't even respect you. As Kamala came there to repeat old tired talking points.
I grew up a middle-class kid.
And once again, dangle reparations in front of them.
And study the issue of reparations. She introduced H.R. 40 every session of Congress, taking up the mantle from Congressman John Conyers. This is a bill that you have co-sponsored as a U.S. Senator. Would you, as president, take executive...
Do you realize that reparations was 40 acres and a mule? I mean, that's what it was supposed to be. Like, what do they think it is today? I mean, if we gave 40 acres to everybody, there wouldn't be enough. There's not enough land in America to do that. I don't know, for every Black person here. And like, and then they had to discern between who actually was a descendant of a slave owner and who wasn't. And it's like, it's ridiculous. The whole idea is such mind control for the Black community. And I respect all the ones in the Black community have shrugged that off and said, this is ridiculous. But I feel bad for people like this guy right here who still thinks it's you know, it's a possibility. One, it's never going to happen. Two, that, you know, he doesn't have any idea what he means by it when he says, hey, Andy, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see
action
you.
to create this commission?
Frankly, I think that we, you know, and part of that is studying it to figure out exactly what we need to do.
As she does this a lot.
Should Black people get reparations?
I think there has to be some form of reparations, and we can discuss what that is.
But in the area of reparations.
Okay, go ahead. Go for it. Discuss it right now. Go. Discuss it. What are your ideas? Go. What should they get? Come on. What should they get? Say it. Well, I have to discuss it more. All right, well, we'll just discuss it now. No, we'll have to discuss it. We'll have to do it more.
Descendants of Africans enslaved. If you elected president, would you sign that bill if it came across your desk?
When I am elected president, I will sign that
But the pandering can only take her so far.
Hand up if you think the economy is better under Trump. And hands up if you think the economy is better under Biden and Harris. Okay, 7-1.
As the Democrats dangling something they refuse to actually deliver on is like their signature move now, whether it's reparations, the right to choose, and basically everything they've campaigned on more than once. They've had the presidency for 12 of the last 16 years. They have the Senate, they had the House, and in all that time, they never managed to accomplish any of those campaign promises. They're banking on you being just naive enough to think Kamala didn't save America her first term, but maybe she'll do it this time around. And Trump didn't destroy America his first term, but obviously he'll do it this time around. But luckily, Americans are finally figuring this out. As CBS talks to Trump supporters across the country.
And who gets the respect? And you can deal with foreign leaders. I think Trump's the guy.
I tell you, I've never owned a gun in my life, and I own 4 of them now.
But somehow can't find Kamala supporters.
What was really incredible is in every single restaurant of the people willing to talk to us, we could only find one Harris supporter in every restaurant. And we left no stone unturned. I approached every single person.
As the Democrats are starting to lose labor unions that have supported Democrats for decades, where even CNN is starting to get scared.
But let's say the polls are off like they were back in 2020. Look where he goes. He goes to 312. Why is that? Because the polls underestimated Donald Trump in 2020.
As they previously bragged about the Democrats being the party for low testosterone men, now notice how this is backfiring.
And Donald Trump, he plays golf with Bryson DeChambeau. Yeah. He goes on Theo Vaughn. He talks about Zins. And, you know, Democrats, I'm sorry, like they haven't had a cool guy candidate in a while. And like, with all due respect to Tim Walz, like
Tim Walz appeals to a lot of men. He also appeals to that guy Bruce.
Yeah.
in Jeff's package. He's wearing a futurist female shirt.
Yeah.
Like
As even when Tim tries to be masculine, he still misses the mark.
You can always tell something about somebody's maintenance when how clean their air filter is. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have a manual too. It's called Project 2025, and it's a way to stick it to the middle class by giving tax cuts to the wealthiest.
Now, I don't know
Liar.
classic cars, but donut operator said an international scout
Flat out
in that
liar.
condition is worth well over $100,000. Not to mention the fact that he's allegedly cleaning his engine with absolutely zero grease on his hands while wearing what I believe is a $1,000 Hamilton watch. As every time they try to fake relatability, the subtext will always snitch them out. Because no matter how many times they say they're middle class, they're constantly displaying that they have no idea how the middle class actually lives. And the pandering has actually started to get insulting. As if Hood Harris wasn't bad enough.
You better thank a union member for vacation time.
Senor.
Oh my God, dude. How do we put up with this? See, look, clips like that right there show you mind control is real. It really is.
Rita Kamaya is.
I love you back.
And all I want for my birthday is for Kamala to speak at an Asian American event just to hear what she thinks we sound like. And I actually did the voice right now,
Me
but for
too.
some reason it seemed racist coming out of my mouth. And honestly, I don't know why, as I was born in Korea, but even with me, it just didn't seem right. So if I can't do the Asian accent, Kamala definitely needs to ditch the whole Hood Harris and
Oh, come on, dude. You should totally do it. It would be hilarious. Come on.
Senorita Kamaya characters. And if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then go check out the video on what exactly happened with the Secret Service on Trump's golf course and why they're trying to hide it from you.
Okay. Yeah, dude, you earned my subscription a long time ago, but you would have got it. Yeah. If I could have given you 2 thumbs up if you had done the Korean accent. All right. The Asian accent, I should say. That would have been hilarious, dude. Oh my God. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I gotta show you guys this. I gotta show you this. All right. This is where's it at? We did that. That's gotta stay right there. Right there. Okay, yes, that stays there. And then let's go like this. All right, yeah, I gotta show you this one. 24. Nope, wrong playlist. So many playlists. Good. There we go. All right, and newest. Somehow it still didn't add it. God dang it. All right, I'm just gonna do it this way. All right, so this guy. Okay, like I was talking about, right? These demoralization clips coming out on the left on the X, right? They're putting a lot of stuff out. This guy coming up right here. In fact, let me just go ahead and show him. This guy's one of them, right? And they're clipping him. They're sound biting this guy, right? This little thing. It's called woke little teenager triggered after. Okay, well, hold on. That's the name of the video. But the guy is like liberal. I don't know, liberal teenager or something or another. Is some guy? He's some smart ass. Some kid who thinks he's smart, right? He sits down a bunch of people who disagree. He puts a. He's kind of like trying to do Steve Oden Crowder, but from the other side, like change my mind kind of thing. But he's only working in fallacies, right? So let me before I even this is the guy right here. If you haven't seen this yet, this is what it looks like. It looks like that. Okay, that guy right there. All right. Let's just before we even get going with him, let me show you. I saw this out there earlier and I replied to it because I watched a little bit of what they're putting out, right? Let's see, where is he? I basically said I would shred this kid if I ever had sat down with him. Is it still here? Oh, here he is. This guy, right? So they cherry picked these clips, right? And they put it together in a TikTok form to make it seem like he's doing all these gotcha moments with people, right? And this is it right here. All right. So this is this person like this, right? So he puts these
Donald Trump is a racist. I don't see anything or any
so 20 minutes or something like that. He just says that, right?
statement that he's ever made that's racist. I mean, there's things that there's accusation.
You see, what he does is he puts people on the defensive, and you have to try to prove his false premise. Now, this is never going to work out, by the way. You can't sit down and try to prove someone's false premise. You have to just call it a false premise. But there are ways to handle this. So I'll give you a quick glimpse of this before he gets worked on the other video.
But there's no facts behind it.
In the 1970s, there's civil litigation held against him by the DOJ of the state of New York for literally not renting to black people.
But yet he employs a lot of minorities. He employs a lot of blacks, Asians, Hispanics. So why wouldn't he be renting to black people? That doesn't make any sense. Also,
because it's an example of racism.
But also,
this guy's not good. He says things in a confident way, but he's all false logic.
So is an example that the Department of Justice is weaponized against people that do something in life.
When he was in office, he gave funding to HBCUs.
Do you know how much funding he sent to HBCUs?
I would like to hear it.
Obama sent $1 billion a year, and Biden sent $4 billion.
Those are lies. Those are complete and utter lies. I looked them up. It was over the course of 8 years. Over the course of 8 years, he did that. He didn't send $1 billion a year to freaking HBCUs. So that's a flat out lie, right? So he's completely wrong on his facts, but he's saying it like he knows it, and these people don't know it, right? So he's basically taking their points and trying to tear them apart. So what I said was, this dude is all fallacy, smoke and mirrors. I destroy him. First statement before we start. Define racist for me. Like, okay, it's like, he's gonna sit there and go, this opponent, you always the way you beat opponents like this is to ask the questions and never respond to the straw man arguments. Rather call them out and redirect to the premise. That's just like we saw Vivek doing earlier, kind of, but trying to understand what if there's a disagreement where it starts, but also making sure that you lay out, you have a clear line of communication by not leaving anything muddy or cloudy when you're trying to talk with them. This guy sitting down with the clock is obviously doing this to try to get gotcha moments, right? Whereas people like Charlie Kirk, Steven Crowder, and others who go out into college campuses are actually trying to have conversations. Even though they're accused of doing what this guy's doing right here. But I said, however, this is a good example of why we must get the trivium back in early education. People who understand true logic would not be taken in by his false logic. All right, so that's that. And let me go back to this video right here. And we're back to the same guy. Watch this.
Very nice, America. Okay. All right, guys, we got to talk about this clip that's going viral in liberal circles because the left, they're celebrating this woke teenager, this young white liberal male. Now, I want you guys to notice they all kind of look alike. Okay, all of the white liberal men, they seem to all kind of look the same, right? I want you guys to notice the pattern here of how these individuals tend to look and behave, right? And present themselves and carry themselves, okay? It's very disturbing when you think about it. But anyways, this is a part of a series in which Jubilee has one conservative or one liberal sit down and take on people with opposite beliefs, okay, one at a time. And this is their version where they have a liberal take on 20 conservatives. And I want to react to one part of this segment where a conservative woman is going to sit down and they're going to basically debate who is the better candidate for president, Trump or Kamala Harris. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
Kamala Harris would be a much better president than Donald Trump. Yeah, I can do that too.
Honestly, there's so much here that
right?
I don't
Get
even know where
him,
to start.
Greg.
But I think
Get him. Do it for me.
It is unbelievable that you have young men in this country that think like this, right? That are buying into these NPC talking points from Democrats, because that's what it is, right? I mean, there are no rights.
He really
that
believes
women
again
don't have in this
Israel.
country, right? Women have the same rights as men in this country. So I'll be fascinated to know exactly what rights are Kamala Harris fighting for women that they don't already have. And please don't say abortion. We know that's what they're going to say, but abortion is not a right. Okay, so again, that's not even a good answer. Okay, so I mean, you also listen to him talk about Kamala's going to fight for democracy. Yeah, that is why she currently has a Democrat Party nomination after she did not receive one vote in the Democrat primary, right, from the people. Not one vote whatsoever, right? You disenfranchised Joe Biden out of the millions of votes that he received to install Kamala Harris via coup after she received no votes, right? Not to mention that Democrats basically rigged their own primaries to get Joe Biden elected in the first place by basically stifling any competition or anybody that tried to challenge Joe Biden using lawfare. And we can also go back to the 2020 primaries and the 2016 primaries. We have multiple Democrats that went on record admitting that, yeah.
Hey, Nacho, can you find that story clip? I can't find it. I'm looking for the story. The story clip's so funny. I want to play it. Hey, Suzanne, how you doing over there on Rumble? Good to see you. How you been? Thank you so much for all the support on X as well.
Yes, the party finagled their primaries to help Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden win their preferred candidates. We can also talk about how Democrats have challenged every election they've lost since 2000. Yeah, this guy is an NPC. And further evidence of this is the fact that he brings up character, right? He talks about how character is so important, as if Kamala Harris is a better person than Trump, or Democrats are, better people than Trump or whatever. And it's like, again, you're coming at this from a very naive perspective, because I have my doubts that any politician that has made it to the top is actually a good person because of just how corrupt you have to be, right? How dirty you have to be to survive and to make it in politics, okay? And knowing that, I have my doubts about the character of any politician, left or right, conservative or liberal. Do not lecture me about character when you're advocating for the side of the political aisle that will force experimental vaccines into everybody's arm, including children, because of a pandemic, and then make people lose their livelihoods, okay? The ability to feed their families if they refuse to take an experimental vaccine. Do not lecture me about character when your side of the political aisle has attempted assassinations on Supreme Court justices because they didn't like rulings from the court. And also on top of that, you have individuals that have been inspired to attempt to assassinate the president because they think that Trump is a threat to democracy. Do not lecture me about character when you're on the side of the political aisle that wants to censor my free speech because your feelings get hurt by the things that I say. Do not lecture me about character when you're on the side of the political aisle that has no problems whatsoever bombing children in the Middle East, okay, or starting unnecessary wars to advance the multinational interests of corporate America. Don't tell me about the character of any politician that sells themselves to the highest bidder like a prostitute. I don't want to hear about that, right? I don't want to hear about it because in my mind, right, looking at it from a realistic perspective, not the perspective of a teenager, right? None of these politicians are really good people, okay? Because if they were good people, they were good character people, they wouldn't be in politics. People with good character, they don't survive that long in politics, right? Because you can't be successful in politics with good character. That's just an unfortunate reality of politics, right? It's kind of been that way forever, right? You got to do some dirty things, right, in order to make it to the top. It is what it is. So that's why when people started getting to this character conversation, it just annoys me. I roll my eyes because I'm talking to a child, right? This is a child's perspective on politics, right? So yeah.
No. It has nothing to do with it. Even if you say it does, it has nothing to do with it.
For her run for AGRGA, I don't remember which one, and 4.4 million for the other one. I have a question. You're saying that she slept her way.
She's laughing at him. She's like, "Oh my God, he's so stupid."
Man, he's naive, okay? Because he's basically trying to argue that, well, her sleeping with the guy that was the Speaker of the General Assembly in California, a very influential politician at the time, if not one of the most influential politicians in California, that had nothing to do with her getting her job as district attorney and attorney general. And his evidence for that is the fact that, well, she had to win an election in order to become DA and attorney general, right? And the fact that he said that, again, it just leads me to believe that you have a very naive perspective on how politics works, right? Because elections are won for multiple reasons. Her being elected is not proof or evidence that her sleeping with a senior citizen didn't have anything to do with her winning the election. Because when you understand how politics works, you understand that politics is all about influence, right? Who you know, just like a lot of industries about who you know, okay, and what positions can they put you in to elevate your career. In the case of Kamala Harris, it is pretty clear if you actually look at the story behind Willie Brown and what he has admitted, that he actually really did help her get to the top because he helped kickstart her career. He helped put her in positions of power that made her resume stronger and helped connect her with people who could help her run for DA and attorney general, right? Because you just don't wake up and say, hey, I'm going to run for DA and attorney general and I'm going to go knocking on doors and say, hey, vote for me. No, that's not how politics works. You have to have a coalition of people who support you. You have to be able to raise money. You have to know the right people. You have to build a brand in order to position yourself to run for these positions in the first place, especially in a place like California, right? That's especially true. In fact, let's read this. This is straight from Willie Brown. He says, quote,
just give me their name. I'll look it up.
Her career by appointing her to 2 state commissions when I was Assembly Speaker. Brown wrote Saturday. Brown was the Speaker from 1980 to 1995 prior to his stint as San Francisco mayor. Brown appointed Harris to the California Unemployment Insurance Appeals Board and then to the Medical Assistance Commission, positions that paid her more than $400,000 over 5 years, according to San Francisco Weekly. Brown also gave Harris a BMW. Quote, and I certainly helped with her first race for district attorney in San Francisco, he said in his Chronicle letter Saturday. So again, not only was she appointed by this one individual that she happened to be sleeping with, right? Again, this is a young 20, 30-year-old woman, okay, who's really just getting her career started. And this guy appoints her to positions that she wasn't really qualified for, okay? And she happened to be sleeping with the guy. Now, what reason do you think a young 20, 30-year-old woman would want to sleep with a 60-year-old man, right? That's in that position of power. Well, clearly she's doing it for influence, right? Clearly she's doing it to build her career, right? Clearly she is in a relationship with this man because it benefits her, right? Politically. It's obvious, okay? And she got rewarded for that. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind, without Willie Brown, Kamala Harris would not be in a position that she's in right now. I think that's very clear, okay? Quote, I have also helped the careers of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Governor Gavin Newsom, Senator Dianne Feinstein, and a host of other politicians. He added, quote, the difference is that Harris is the only one who, after I helped her, sent word that I would be indicted if I so much as jaywalked while she was DA. Brown wrote, that's politics for, yeah. So, you know, speaking of character, right, it doesn't really speak good of Kamala Harris's character to essentially threaten to jail the guy that made her career, right? I'm not sure if that's good character, but basically Kamala Harris tried to distance herself from Willie Brown because she didn't want people to think that he was behind her or that he was controlling her. She at that point wanted to pretend as if she was a home person, but behind the scenes, Willie Brown was still helping her, right? He was using his network. He was using his influence, which was pretty significant considering how the guy was the speaker for the General Assembly. And also he later became San Francisco mayor. So again, this guy has a lot of influence in politics, so much so that he's helped out a lot of people. It just so happens that he was sleeping with Kamala Harris. And yes, she may have gotten voted into office, but without Willie Brown, she doesn't get those votes. And that is the argument. And to deny this would be to deny the reality of politics. It would show that you have a very naive, childish, sophomoric understanding of how things actually work, which will certainly could be the case for this guy. But we see here that he's defaulting to what most liberals default to when they don't have a good counter argument.
But right? they're putting that out there like he did some kind of this. Oh, whiz kid is just taking it to the Trump supporters.
They just boohoo, whine, and cry bigotry. Okay, this dude is accusing this young woman of basically being a misogynist, right? She's been a misogynist for bringing up Kamala Harris sleeping her way to the top, right? So why is he doing that? Well, he's essentially accusing this woman of being a bigot to shut her down, right? Because he doesn't have a good counter argument, right? He can't really refute her claims by going into the details, okay, and actually proving that, hey, Willie Brown didn't have that much significance over Kamala Harris's career. He know he can't do that. So again, what does he do to get around it? Well, you're just a bigot for saying that, right? You're a bigot for pointing that out. And he's calling a woman a misogynist, right? And the crazy thing is that he does this throughout all of these interactions with these people. If he disagrees with them, like, for example, immigration, he says, well, that's racist, right? I think he was telling like a Hispanic Latino man, yeah, you're a racist because you agree with Trump on border policy. Again, it's just, this is what they do when they don't have a counter argument. They just say, well, you're a racist, okay, because you disagree with me.
You were taking her character, you were taking her proposed policy, you were taking her intelligence, and you're taking her wisdom, and you're
He's trying to be all outraged when his estrogen is showing.
Throwing it out of the window. Because when you say that the only reason
look at it, she's so calm, cool, and collective. Like
in her position of power today is because she slept with a man that had been legally divorced for 3 years is a lie. She got 4 points.
No, again, he's lying through his teeth, or just doesn't know this. This is like that tactic is so weak. It's so weak and so soy to have to try to do that. Oh, she said it. She said it. You know, come on. You're hysterical, and you're trying to. You're realizing you're like swimming you're in shit there, and you're hysterical about it. And she's calm, cool, and collected, and you can't stand it. And so you try to get her on some shit like that. Try to get her to say something like in the moment or misspeak, and then didn't go off on it. Gotcha moments. There's a clown that used to come. I used to do a show with on this channel. That used to try to do that all the time. Oh, gotcha moments. He didn't have anything else. I mean, he wasn't that smart, but you know. Gotcha. I keep looking for the link on his page and I can't find it. Can you just give it to me? Sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm like scrolling up and down this dude's page. I cannot find the story clip.
With democratic processes, yes, I do. And you're saying that she somehow circumvented these civil electoral processes?
I don't hate women, guys. Just letting you know.
Wow. Again,
wow.
Naivete of this
guy. Well, I know. I keep telling you guys, man, what's going on in Canada, man. You guys got to do something about that guy. Who is your resistance? Like, I was trying to ask the man tonight, who is the Trump of Canada? Where is your anti-establishment movement? Like, what's going on? I mean, I kind of feel bad for everybody. This guy James that comes in here, I keep asking him. He's too worried about whether the moon landing is real or not. But it's like, I'm like, dude, you guys got to do something about Canada, man. Let's see. So what is happening up here? Damn, the entire government is imploding on itself. Like, who's going to come in there and make sure it doesn't just go right back to something else corrupt on it? So many jumping ship. We'll take a look at it. That's interesting. I'd like to know. I like to keep an eye on Canada. I like to keep an eye on it. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Nacho. All right, so let's see a little bit more of this, and we're gonna jump over here to this.
Young male is stunning. It really is, right? I mean, if this guy really thinks that having a democratic electoral process basically prevents women from sleeping to the top, right? It basically drowns out any type of influence that somebody like a Willie Brown could have on helping Kamala Harris get into a position of power. I hope he's not commentating on politics for a living, right? I really hope that he's not doing that, right? I'm not sure exactly.
He thinks he is. He thinks he's like the left. He thinks he's somebody that he ain't. I mean, he looks like an idiot, and that girl just schooled him. And you know what? That dude wouldn't have a chance in the world of ever hooking up with that girl, getting a date from her in a million years. If he even likes girls, who knows? Probably doesn't. Anyways, yeah. Thanks, Greg, on that. We'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at both of us laughing at him. Pierre Polivier is our Trump. Okay, let's get him. Let's hook him up, man. Let's hook him up. That's who you guys need. Then I'd take your word for it. Let's get this guy to throw out Trudeau. You guys need you need a MAGA up there. You need a Maca. You need to do the Macarena, right? Make Canada great again. You guys need to have a better thing than that. Let's see. How can we do this? Do you have a term? I'm trying to think. I'll think of a good slogan for you, Suzanne. Then you can coin it and lead the Canadian Revolution. Right. Cool. All right. I think that's it for the good news here. So happy that you guys are here for that with me. Yeah, I think I covered everything else on that list. All right, good. I have this list. How many? I got 217 videos on there. I used to take videos off of it, but I just leave them on and sort them back to the top, the newest. So that's how I do it. Okay, so here we go. Oh, perfect timing. All right, you know what time it is now, guys. You know what time it is. Oops. It's not time for me to turn my camera off. Okay, there we go. All right. I need to move these down. Oh, this is what it's time for. In case you haven't heard, it's time for funny videos. And we will start this one. Is it the same one? Oh, yeah, this it is. Okay, cool. We're going to start this one over our next tonight. And let me go ahead and pull this up. I'm getting better at doing this. I'm not great yet. I have added like 100 new followers on X this week. So that's good. That's good news. I'm literally looking at it like a puzzle. Like, where is the bookmark? There. Yeah. All right. Oh, I have to go to my front. Do I have to go to my front page? You've got to be kidding me. I'm staring at it. I'm staring at it. It's not changing. I'm reading down the list, and I don't see bookmarks anywhere now. What the hell is wrong with me? Refresh. I literally had it all like ready. Wait. Oh, there we go. No. Yes. You know, if you do the like increase the size of your screen, the bookmarks thing disappears. That's what happened to me. I'm like, what? I'm going crazy. I'm gaslighting myself. All right. At least I didn't die on myself. That's the problem that's going around. All right. Let me get this up here. So we got a few funny videos here. So everything's in here. And that one didn't add for some reason. Hold on. It's getting out of control. I know I just bookmarked it. It says bookmarked. No, did I save it under the right bookmark? Maybe not. All right, I'm just gonna play the damn. There you go. Add to folder. Funny clips. Okay, I think we got it. I got it on backup just in case. Should be at the top. Yes. All right, good. We're good. All right, here we go. Stop sharing. There we go. Let's get it straight. Funny clips. Boom. And boom. All right. There we go. I did it. All right, here we go. First funny clip.
Your story and the story of our
This one is, oh yeah. Let's start playing when I click into it. Okay, so word salad, word of the day. It's really low. So turn up your volume. Stop. All right, it's really low, so you might want to turn your volume up a little bit for this. Word salad, word of the day. Kamala repeated the word story in the video clip. Cringe. You need to work on your titles, Gary, but otherwise, great video clip. Should have got more. Hold on, where did you see it from? You saw it from his page? This guy only has 4 hearts and 2 retweets. I'm reposting it right now. X can be a very lonely place. All right, here we go.
Your story and the story of our friends before you is really, that's the American story, right? In telling your story and being so strong in the way you do it, and both of these stories,
the girl nodding her head.
Tell these stories. This story is a story that is sadly not the only story. Your story and the story.
Well, hold on. Who was that guy? Fox News. That's where I saw it the first. Could you guys hear that? That's where I saw it the first time. I thought I had saved that, man. Let's see. Maybe Gary just G Gary. Let me make sure I'm not talking about Gary Scam. Let's see. New story. That's a story. Oh, I did find this. Where's it at? Where did I put that clip? Kamala Harris was caught. I think I saved it. Yeah, right here, dude. Watch this. Breaking news. In case you didn't know, in case you even had any wonder in your world, in case you didn't, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this at all. Kamala Harris busted, cold busted, using a teleprompter at her staged event. See it there? We deserve to live in. Is that real? I have to, I always have to look to find out more. Let's get to, maybe it's her speechwriter's fault she's so bad. That's crazy. Okay, yeah. So evidently there's a teleprompter. I wouldn't be surprised. To live and to find out more about more. I don't know, man. This could be rigged. I don't know. If they're really giving it, does she type her own transcripts or her own speeches? That might be what the problem is. I don't know. Okay, back to funny clips. All right, by the way, in case you were wondering what old Greta Thunberg is up to, she's still short and weird looking, but now she is a queer Marxist. She's supporting Islamic Jihad. Let's see what she's saying. 48 seconds of.
Show me what the people looks like. Show me what.
She's not as popular as she used to be.
What democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. This guy is freaking hilarious. Get ready to laugh for 2 minutes straight. This dude's funny, man. He's funny. He's so casual about it. Trolling liberals at the Trump versus Harris debate in Philadelphia. This guy, if you haven't seen this, this is like gold here. Watch this.
You support Kamal? Who are you with? I'm with Channel 17. Can I see some ID? You don't even need an ID to vote, so why do I have to show you one? I'm a independent voter, so I want to understand why to vote for Kamal.
Well, first step, you might learn to pronounce her name correctly.
No, maybe some policies, though. Like, I don't care as much about the name. I care much about the policies. And I haven't found one policy that Kamal has talked about or said or done in the entire history of her being in politics. I don't care what her name is. It could be Jim from Subway. I would vote for her if she had some good policies. Everyone gets so mad about the name, but no one gets mad that she doesn't even have a policy website yet. It's so confusing. I don't get it. Why do you guys support Kamal? Because I have a huge list why I support her.
Can you share that list?
She's an alcoholic, and so am I. That's about it. The main thing is the alcoholism. Trump or Kamala?
I want Kamala to win.
I've been voting Democratic since '72.
What's on Kamal's 100-day plan?
I don't. Has she published it yet?
No, which is pretty shocking that she hasn't published it.
She's hinted at a few things.
Oh, yeah, a little
Running
hint.
for 7
That's good.
weeks.
Well, yeah, because she committed a coup against Biden. That's why she's only been running for 7 weeks. No one voted for her. Like, she wasn't elected.
She was elected.
No, she wasn't. The people didn't vote for her in the primaries.
Trump just had token opposition himself because his party is a cult.
Trump ran against Nikki Haley, ran against Ron DeSantis, ran against Vivek Ramaswamy. He didn't even show up to a debate, and he still won. Like, the people voted for him. The Democrat base didn't even vote for Kamal. No, but you could say he's an idiot, but we're talking here about legislation.
I think this interview is over. You're not even showing her the courtesy of pronouncing her name properly. So
Okay, remember how? Oops. Remember I talk about the stages there? Okay, now he just busted up their denial, right, about everything they said, and so now it's fight or flight, right? Now it's fight and flight. They found a reason to fly, and they're gonna fly.
Anymore.
Why not? Because you can't defend and stand on your beliefs.
Great if
Yes.
Biden held to his original plan to be a one-term president, but unfortunately it took him a long time to realize that he should retire. So this was the best alternative on short notice.
But Kamal's been the vice president. Biden's been cooked since 2020. No, it's Kamal. Yo, in 2024, I can identify as whatever I want. Like, I can call her Kamal if I feel like it.
It's not you're identifying as anything. It's you're not gracious enough to pronounce.
Now she got the straw man out there, so she didn't have to have the actual conversation. See, now they're gonna watch. They're gonna fly.
Pronounce her name the way that she pronounces.
Okay,
her.
I'll pronounce it right. Camilla. Wait, are you walking away? You guys are just as senile as Biden, or what?
It's so good, dude. I saw that and I was like, this guy.
You support Kamal?
Were you with that?
I'm with.
That guy's so good. All right, a little bit. Oh no. How do you commute? How do you get a community note on a freaking?
It's the same old theme since 1916.
I'll get copyrighted for this.
They're still fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns.
I'm gonna get copyrighted for that. Hold on. Hilarious. Let's see. Let's do this one. Oh shit. Okay, I gotta replay it. Let's do it like this.
It's the same old. It's time to face the truth. Shelly needs a cash. No more acting uncouth. Pay up what you owe. Don't make us get rough. You mess with the wrong crew. Now you're playing tough. Where's the money, Gary? You better pay what you owe. Where's the money, Gary? You better pay what you owe. Where's the money, Gary? You better pay what you owe.
There you go. That was much better with that one, anyways. Dude, this is hilarious. Funny videos, and funny clips. I gotta do a better job. There's much more out there. If I could just do this, that might be pretty good too. I'll do that more. I'll try to get more of these together. Check this out. Yes, even goats have a sense of humor. That's probably copyrighted too.
It was Christmas Eve in the countryside. Snowflake falling and reindeer outside.
Run!
I gotta live to marry, had a glass or two.
Goddamn dog! Come back here! That's it. All right. I'm gonna get better at that. I'll get better at that. Let's see. I had another one too. Where is the other one? Oh, here it is. All right. So here's the thing that's going on here. San Francisco Police Department dressing up as an inflatable chicken. so you know it'll be funny just to listen to my kid laugh in the background. You guys can laugh at the way he laughs here. All right. There we go. The San Francisco Police Department is dressed up as inflatable chickens to catch speeding drivers going through crosswalks. The officers are giving out citations to those who don't stop for the chicken crossing the road. The gig is paying off as the department has given out about 40 citations with some fines costing upwards to $400. If you don't see someone in a giant, if you don't see someone in a giant chicken costume, then we really have a problem. The police lieutenant Jonathan Ozel of SF Guard of the SF Gate. It's having an impact. Drivers seem more aware, more cognizant. Certainly, they are seeing the chicken. All right, let's check this out. Let's see if we got a rainbow tail. Go get him. Man, all day. Look at him. All day long, baby. All day. All right. That's pretty, that's hilarious. Whoever came up with that should get a medal. That's what should happen there. All right. So as we do that, back over to the playlist. Where are we starting tonight? How did that work out? Newest? Huh? Wait. Let me refresh it. So I know that's not the newest thing I added. There we go. All right. I got some really cool stuff and cool videos tonight. Did I do that one already? Oh, I just watched it. Okay. I think that's funny. So some different things tonight. Before we get to animal funny stuff. Yeah, I had a bunch of stuff left over from last week. All right, so yeah, that. Let's organize it here real quick. There's the music part. Oh yeah, there's gonna be a whole section on the whole memes coming out of the election too. All right, let's start off with our go-to here. Easy Money, JP. Conservative husbands versus liberal husbands. All right, this ought to be good. And action.
Honey, cancel your plans. Taking you out for dinner tonight.
Honey, would you like to do something tonight? Oh, you have plans with your boyfriend? Okay, Kevin's great. Yeah, I can just stay in a hotel tonight. You have the house to yourself.
It's mother of my children right there. Strong woman.
That's the border of my children right there. Yeah, strong woman.
I don't know. For some reason, peeing outside is just way more satisfying.
Yeah, I just think sitting down to pee is less messy. And I don't know why all men's rooms don't have tampons in them.
I'll be outside doing yard work.
Yeah, I'm going to stay inside and do a crossword puzzle.
Never.
Can we please get rid of the gas stove? The carbon footprint is frightening.
Honey, get my tools. I'm going to see if I can convert our stove to diesel.
Oh, excuse me, dear. I finished doing our taxes. I'm going to send in extra money just to be safe.
Yeah, I'm not going to pay our taxes this year. Government's gotten too tyrannical. I also read somewhere that taxes are illegal. Do you see that? Honey, I hit a deer with your car. The carcass is still on the driveway, but some meat's on the counter. You making a stew tonight? Yeah, of course it was an accident.
Yeah, I'll totally order DoorDash for you and Kevin. What time would you like it to arrive?
I just got a little gash from the chainsaw. It's nothing. No, it doesn't need stitches. Ooh, I'm getting a little lightheaded. I am losing a lot of blood.
Where's my moisturizing lotion? My hands are dry. They're just so dry, just really dry.
Ooh, now that is heavenly. Let me get the door for you, babe. Oh, I never open the door for her. She'll get mad at me. Ooh, honey, I heard a noise. I'm gonna go check it out.
I heard a noise. Can you go check it out?
Unfortunately, no one was there.
Was anyone there?
I just really wish someone would try to break in.
I mean, what if someone breaks in? We defunded the police, but they would still come, wouldn't they?
How do you think we could get someone to break in? It's so fun.
I'm sorry. This is just really scary for me.
Honey, I put a trail of your jewelry leading from the sidewalk up to the house. Hope someone takes the bait.
Lately, we've all been reminded.
That's hilarious, dude. That's hilarious. Great job, JP. That's funny. All right. This is from Mr. Reagan.
Economy is failing. And if I'm elected to 4 more years, things are only going to get worse. And so I, Kamala Harris, want to encourage every little girl in America to follow the same career path as me. Prostitution. When I was a prosecutor back in San Francisco, I was an ambitious young woman. If I thought a man could help me with my career, you'd better believe I was hooking up with him. Oh, yeah. Finally, I met the ultimate sugar daddy, San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown.
Willie Brown, who once dated Harris, says he's excited a black woman is on a presidential ticket.
It was wonderful to have that kind of ongoing daily activity relationship.
Now, Brown is widely credited with helping to launch the senator's career.
Willie was married at the time, and so I was what's called a mistress. As Willie Brown's mistress, I was given lucrative positions in California state government. These were essentially fake jobs, stealing from California taxpayers. For one job, I met just 2 days per month and was paid about $250,000 per year. And so when Donald Trump asks how I'm going to deal with Vladimir Putin or Kim Jong-un, well, let's just say I got a lot of experience dealing with powerful men. Some politicians do backroom deals. I do back rub deals. You know what I'm saying?
Hilarious. Hilarious. Okay, here we go. A lot of political humor tonight, of course, as always. This is great. This guy just nails it.
I would want to say no straight up.
But what's the difference between earning a high GPA and not wanting to give it away, but then earning a lot of money and also not wanting to give that away?
Well, I feel like the difference is that you study for your grades, right? And grades often reflect how much time you spend studying. But
work pretty hard to become a millionaire.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope all is good wherever you are. In this video, we're going to watch Let's Get.
Phillips with Campus Reform. Today, we're at Florida International University talking to students about their opinions of socialism and if they'd support a socialist GPA policy. Would they be willing to share their high GPA with people that have a low GPA? Because after all, it's all about equality. Which would you rather have in America, socialism or capitalism?
I would say socialism.
How do you view the word socialism, favorably or unfavorably?
I guess I would go with favorably.
Like I have family in Europe. They go to college for free. Their healthcare is paid for. They don't have to worry about it at all.
I favor that over capitalism.
Okay, got it.
I also think I favor that, like, socialism over capitalism.
socialism is more geared toward like helping the people in your, the governed.
I'd rather people have that same opportunity. There's a lot of excess in America.
The main idea of socialism being that people at the top are doing their fair share to help people at the bottom, trying to prevent disparity of income and trying to prevent excess, as you called it. So on campus, if there's a GPA disparity where there's people at the bottom with a poor GPA, would you support a policy where people at the top spread the wealth and give that GPA to people at the bottom?
Help them get a better GPA.
Yeah.
I'm all for helping. I wouldn't give let me just give you some of my points.
But it's about being fair, right? We got to help people at the bottom.
I've lost a lot of sleep, so I don't know if I will be fair. It's hard. I guess it would be kind of like hypocritical for me to say no.
That's completely different.
How's it different?
Because I'm like studying all day for my grade.
What do you mean by sharing it? Like literally, like giving them a chunk of my GPA?
Yep.
I would want to say no straight up.
But what's the difference between earning a high GPA and not wanting to give it away, but then earning a lot of money and also not wanting to give that away?
Well, I feel like the difference is that you study for your grades, right? And grades often reflect how much time you spend studying. But
work pretty hard to become a millionaire.
I mean, I'm not denying that fact either, but for the regular working person,
Do you think there's a similarity between earning your salary and maybe not wanting to give it away to people that aren't working to earn it? And same thing with the GPA where you earn it and you say, well, I don't necessarily want to give it to anyone who might not be working for it.
Right. I think it's just that whole sense of people thinking that no one's going to work for it.
I mean, I sacrifice a lot to get my GPA. I don't go out as much as I'd like to, but that's for something like a greater goal in the future, the way I see it. So no, I wouldn't sacrifice my own things, like sacrifice my own time to help somebody else who didn't want to make those same sacrifices.
Guys, if you don't mind smashing that thumbs up button for your boy, really does help me out. And also, if this is not your first time watching one of the videos and you're not a subscriber yet, hopefully this will be the video in which I can earn your subscription. Let's get back to the video.
There's some people who are in the bottom, but they really are working, and there's some people who are in the bottom and they deserve that poor GPA.
Kind of like people making money with their income.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like some people. Let's not throw shade.
Isn't it about helping the less fortunate?
Basically profiting off of my work for you. So who's really the bad guy here?
I don't think that'd be a good idea because then you're taking away from people that earn that grade. And what about the ones that aren't really working hard for their grades? So they're just going to get something they don't really deserve.
Got it. And do you think it's similar with your salary?
Yeah, I definitely do.
No, that's the complete opposite of meritocracy.
Okay.
The complete opposite. That's like awful. I don't think they're comparable because your GPA is not directly linked to like your quality of life necessarily.
But you still have to earn it the same way you'd have to earn a salary, right?
Well, I don't think most rich people in this country necessarily earn it. Much of that money is inherited. Much of that money, is made from the stock market, which isn't, they're not actually working for that. They're pressing a button behind a computer for that. I mean,
Well, I mean, there would be no point to having a GPA because then if
But they're
everyone has
taking the
same,
risk,
then
right?
There's no metric, right?
But it's all about fairness, right?
Well, like, is it fair? Like, I look at it this way, right? Is it fair for everyone to have the same outcome or to have the same opportunity, right? For me, having the same opportunity is what is fair, right? Not the same outcome, right? Because if I work harder than you and I get a better result, then it is only fair that I get a better grade or I get a better opportunity than you, right?
Everything should be merit-based. Best man or woman for the job gets the job. List of criterias, the best person gets it. If it happens to be all black lesbians, so be it. But when we talk about socialism versus capitalism, like the European countries that these kids are mentioning about are not socialist countries. Canada, even though it has some socialized healthcare, is not a socialist country. So the same goes for these European countries. They're still capitalist countries. And the stuff is not free. Like, do you know how much taxes some of these countries pay? I'm sure these students would want all the benefits, but definitely don't want to pay the high taxes. All these kids think that capitalism is based on greed, right? They think, oh, the people have all the money at the top. They're so greedy.
Right.
And
Well,
then
they
they
learned
think
a
that
lesson
socialism
here.
is based on human need and it's so nice. But that's absolutely wrong. It's so backwards, actually. I mentioned
Yep.
this in a video.
Absolutely. That's hilarious, though. These guys talks the whole way through it. So we'll move it on. Thank you for that. All right. Let me see what the next one is. This is just a little something I threw in here. The squirrel gets drunk off of fermented pears. I don't know why I think this is funny. He's like, what? What happened? He's like, what? Oh. He's like, I might want to try that again, maybe. They'll probably copyright me for this. He's going back for more. Give me some more. Damn. Hilarious. I just saw that. I was like, I gotta throw that in here. Hold on. All right, so I'm gonna pull this one ahead. This one right here is gonna blow your mind. Like we saw this the other day. I was like, I gotta throw this in here for cool videos. Actually, do I want to do that or just? I'm kind of gonna jump to cool videos, then back to funny videos. We're gonna do it that way. All right. This will blow your mind. I don't know. Hold on. Let me see if this guy. Oh yeah. Yep. Wait. Hold on. YouTube audio library. So I should be able to be okay with this. I think that'll be fine. You're allowed to use YouTube audio library. All right. Just YouTube. Don't be dumb. All right. How couples met. Data from 1930 to 2024. All right. This is gonna blow your mind. Watch this. Be a family in school. Be a friend. In the 40s here. Real quick, we're in 1965. Who do you think is going to be the winner? In 71, 22, 23, in the 70s. You know, they say you can meet a nice girl in church. By 2012, the online took over. There we are. Yeah, that's it. That's the end of it. There we go. There's the final results. So, did you guess the winner? Did you guess the winner? Take a look at real quick. College, 0.68% in 2024. There's no, you're not going to find your true love in college anymore. A lot of my friends got married, met their wives in college. So, neighborhood, your neighbors, nope, nobody talks to their neighbors anymore. Church, school, nope, everybody's crazy there. Family, nope. Bars, nope. Co-workers, nope. Friends, nope. Online, crazy stat, man. I thought that was nuts when I saw that. I was like, I gotta show it to you guys. All right. Oh man, did I not show this one? I guess I didn't. Let's pull this one back up. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. And then we're gonna do these and then do that. And do that and do that. Okay. Oh God. We'll do this one last. Okay, I got it. We're all in order here.
Okay.
All right. So like I said, I had some leftover from last week. I didn't get a chance to show, but here's some more JP series for you. Moderating a very fair presidential debate.
Okay, let's welcome the candidates to the stage.
Kamala Harris. It's a good day. Thank you.
Madam Vice President, those earrings are looking lovely on you tonight. They remind me of these Nova wireless audio.
Oh God, not this. No, these are not Novas. You can tell the difference already. Yeah.
Earrings I've seen before that allow direct communication into one's ear, but because we're not allowing earpieces tonight and those look the same, I'm sure they're different. Okay, my first question is for the felon. A lot of people support you. Why do you think that is?
That's because people want to take their country back.
Whoa! Calling for violence like that will not be tolerated on this debate stage, mister. Completely unacceptable. So just calm down. And if you could, please, safely, tell us what you would do if you got elected.
Make America great again. She's destroying this country. And if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
I've got to cut you off right there. We've just fact-checked you, and Venezuela is not on steroids. Madam Vice President, Americans are suffering economically right now under your administration because of Trump's administration. So because you're not already in, if you were to get into office, what would you do to help the economy?
The best economists in our country, if not the world, have reviewed our relative plans for the future of America. What Goldman Sachs has said is that Donald Trump's plan would make the economy worse. Mine would strengthen the economy.
Oh, now that is impressive. So you're saying Trump's plan wouldn't work?
So Donald Trump has no plan for you.
President Trump, some would say it's irresponsible of you to show up for a presidential debate without having any plan to fix the economy. You probably should have had one by now. Mr. Trump, I'll give you 3 seconds to respond.
And I'll tell you what I would do.
Excuse me, your time is up, Mr. President. And the next question is for you. Now, the vice president is standing right there. What race do you think she is?
Not black?
Well, that's correct. We're not in Atlanta or Detroit right now, but she will be soon. And it sounds like you hate her for it.
I don't care what she is. I don't care.
Why are you so concerned about her race?
I couldn't care less.
What race would she have to be for you to be okay with her?
Whatever she wants to be is okay with me.
Mrs. Harris, how do you feel when you hear President Trump say he hates you when you're black?
I mean, honestly, I think it's a tragedy that we have someone who wants to be president who has consistently, over the course of his career, attempted to use race to divide the American people.
Yeah, he always does that.
We don't want a leader who is constantly trying to have Americans point their fingers at each other.
Madam Vice President, more of your identity politics will certainly solve that problem. Now to you, President Trump.
Let's remember.
Oh, I'm sorry, Madam Vice President. Please go ahead.
Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side.
Now, that is a rather big accusation that he said such a thing. I better fact check that.
And I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
Yep. President Trump specifically said neo-Nazis and white nationalists are fine people. Fact check true. As per usual, Madam Vice President, your statements are factually correct. Now, President Trump, your opponent has repeatedly criticized you for your involvement in Project 2025. Why would you be pushing such a terrible thing so hard?
Number one, I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025.
Fact check false. You do.
That's out there.
If you could please just stick to the facts here and tell the American people why you're pushing Project 2025 so aggressively.
I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it.
So you're admitting right here that you don't know how to read. That's kind of pathetic. No offense to the illiterate community. Madam Vice President, your opponent has criticized your calls for an assault weapons ban. How do you respond to this?
This business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
Let us finally pass an assault weapons ban.
Fact check true, everybody. She never said anything about any kind of ban on guns. You are a liar. So, Madam Vice President, just to clarify, if elected, do you support taking people's guns away?
As President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law.
And that's also true. Perfect. Well, this has been a great debate,
but it makes no difference.
Silence! And thank you for your closing remarks, Mr. Trump. Madam Vice President, any closing remarks from you?
Are you okay?
You know what? I am okay, and thank you for asking. A leader who cares enough to ask. Huh. President Trump, you have to admit, she did pretty good, huh?
Weak and stupid.
Ah, cut his mic. What's up, my
Not bad, not bad. All right. See, we got some cool videos here coming up. Let me see. A little Gen X. Little Gen X comedy. Here we go.
I am, and I think I'm fortunate to have grown up Generation X too. We got any Gen Xers in here? Yeah, I don't even care. That's how Gen X I am. That's a calling card of our generation, right? It's not even dismissive to a Gen Xer. It's like, I don't care. I don't care also. Nice to meet you. What generation are you? It doesn't matter. I don't care. That's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing. If y'all don't like this joke, guess what? You're only going to give me more cred as a Gen Xer. You'll only make me more powerful. But we are a lucky generation. We're the only generation currently alive that didn't spend our youth with America at war. Think about that. Boomers had Vietnam. Millennials, everybody after. Afghanistan. We had this long stretch of relative peace. I mean, George Bush sent a few guys to Kuwait for like a long weekend. It's like, all right, was that a war? Not by American standards. That was not a war. Felt like more of an excursion, to be honest.
I will count.
By the way, we had the best George Bush, Generation X. We had the George Bush that wore glasses and had exit strategies. That was a better model of George Bush. In Gen X, we call that George Bush Classic. But it's easy to spot that we're a lucky generation because we're sandwiched between the two most dynamically angry generations currently alive. We are. Boomers and millennials hate each other. They do. I hear it all the time. It's like, you're an idiot. No, you're an idiot. I'm like, hey, you're both right. Chill out. Chill out. But I get it. I get why they're two angry generations, because these are two generations that experience these huge swings between human achievement and human disappointment, right? Boomers established civil rights, fair housing, but in order to get there were assassinations, race riots, KKK. Millennials elected the first black president in American history, and then they elected the next president who brought back race riots and the KKK. I mean, it's just full circle. And then in the middle, Gen X, we just watched Soul Train and listened to hip hop and fell in love with Oprah and all the Michaels. It was a great generation for Michaels in America. We had Tyson, Jordan, Jackson. Generation X had the best Michael Jackson. We had Moonwalk Michael Jackson. That is the greatest Michael Jackson ever. Boomers, you had little Michael Jackson, Jackson 5, cute, talented, but nowhere near Thriller level Michael Jackson. Millennials, y'all had documentary Michael Jackson. No. That is a confusing applause point. I got to be honest with you. But that's the thing. Millennials had the worst of a lot of things. They did. Millennials introduced ghosting to the world as a way to end a relationship. In Gen X, ghosting just meant that Demi Moore's boyfriend had to die to become remotely interested in her pottery hobby. And I hear people criticize millennials for being the participation trophy generation, but I have to remind them this is a generation that grew up in the shadow of 9/11. They graduate college at the 2008 financial crash. They finally climb out of their parents' basement, and the whole world just shuts down for 2 years. They experience a lifetime flood or fire or recession almost every year. If that's what they've got to participate in, give them a trophy. Just give them a trophy. I'm glad some of them are still participating, to be honest with you. Because I think the key to understanding a generation is you got to understand the world that they grew up in. People say millennials are self-involved. We're all self-involved. It's just that millennials learn to embrace it, and that's disturbing to the rest of us. I understand that. But it's not a character flaw. It's a product of their environment. Think about it. Millennials grew up with GPS. Every time they went on a journey, sitting next to them with this robot navigation butler just whispering precise step-by-step instructions in the soothing voice of their choosing. And then when they look at the map, it's telling them that they are the center of the universe. No matter how far they go or which direction they're headed, they're just this bright blue orb of hope that the entire world just arranges itself around. That's going to mess with your sense of self. It is. And of course, it's going to irritate boomers because every time they went on a trip, the thing giving them directions was a disappointed spouse or parent. And not in the voice of their choosing, but in the voice they hated most in the whole world. That's why boomers will never be fully comfortable around a GPS. It's just too nice. Have you ever been in the car with a boomer and a GPS at the same time? It is a fight to the death. That is navigational Highlander in that car. I'll be driving down the road with my mom, and that GPS is like, turn right in 1,000 feet. And my mom's like, don't you do it. Don't you dare turn right. I'm like, Mom, I love you, but I'm going to go with the thing that can see traffic from the sky today. That's how we're doing this journey. But I understand her perspective, too, as a boomer. Because when boomers went on trips, they had to know things. They had to have skills. They had to start preparing the night before by unfolding a map that was sometimes the size of their house. And the first thing they had to do was figure out where they even were on the map. Think about that. If every time you went on a trip, your first step was to find yourself, do you realize the level of existential stability that requires? That's why every time a boomer reaches their destination, their first 10 minutes of conversation is just, how did you get here? But I grew up Generation X, one foot in both worlds. I knew technology was great, but also stupid because I had MapQuest. Yeah, I had to start preparing the night before too, but just by printing out 28 pages.
All right. Cool. So guess what? Let me see here. I might save best 80s video games for another time. That one I can play anytime. Let's get into some music. Let's get into some music. Let's see. I got to do it like this. We're going to do bang, 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 and then get out of here. All right. It's music, fun music time. And you know, the hit song right now is whatever it is what it is. And here we go.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
I gotta play it right.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
People on television say my dog was taken and used for food. People on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager. People on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So.
Groove on.
in Ohio. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shit gets fucking gritty. Don't you know? Don't eat my pussy. Don't eat my pussy. It's not made to be chewed. No, 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 no. Don't eat my pussy. Don't eat my pussy. It's not meant to be food. Don't eat my cat. Just because. Just because. Just because my pussy might taste sweet, that don't mean. That don't mean. That don't mean it's something you should eat. Oh, hell no. You can't eat my steamed clam. Oh, oh yeah. You can eat some fried chicken. Sounds good. But whatever you do, yeah, 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 yeah. Don't you eat my kitten. Oh, hell no. Don't eat my pussy. Don't eat my pussy. It's not made to be chewed. No, 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 no. Don't eat my pussy. Don't eat my pussy. It's not meant to be food. Don't eat my cat. Don't eat my pussy. Don't eat my pussy. It's not made to be chewed. No, 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 no. Don't eat my pussy. Don't eat my pussy. It's not meant to be food. Don't eat my cat. Kitty, kitty, kitty.
So yeah, I thought that one was pretty good. I think I think they kind of missed it by they should have reversed the singers. They should have had a female vocalist for that. For the lead, and then male of the I don't know, maybe just all female vocalists for that. It'd have been better. Hold on a second. Let me check this out. All right, got that straight for that. All right, put this over here. And let us continue with the home stretch here. And yeah, we gotta have the Kitness. The Kitness did it. He did a song too. It's funny because I commented on this. I was like, it's not just people at Springfield, it's just certain people in Springfield. And I got a bunch of when you put this video out on X, and then I got a bunch of people saying, "Oh, the Kitness, this and that." And I was like, "Oh, I love the Kitness," and they're all like, "Oh, okay, cool." He's like, they're like, heart. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
People of Springfield, please don't eat my cats. Why would you do that? Eat something else. People of Springfield, please don't eat my dog. Here's a catalog of other things to eat.
They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
There we go.
in Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
All right.
A runaway cow was accepted by a herd of deer in New York after she managed to escape slaughter, but now she's out of the woods in more ways than one. Bonnie was born on a farm in Holland, New York, but when she was 4 months old, the owner of her farm passed away. The farmer's family decided to sell his cows, and Bonnie was set to be sold to another farm that raises cattle for beef. But when she was being loaded onto the new farm's trailer, Bonnie took the opportunity to bolt into the nearby woods. Soon, people started reporting sightings of a suspicious cow on their security cameras, accompanied by a herd of deer that was evidently happy to let a funny-looking deer join their family. One woman named Becky started seeing Bonnie and friends on her own wildlife cameras, and she knew that while the situation was definitely cute, something needed to be done. After all, no matter how much Bonnie loved her new friends, she was a domesticated animal who wouldn't survive long in the wild, especially since winter was only getting harsher, and some neighbors were threatening to harm Bonnie if she wandered onto their property. So Becky began the process of earning Bonnie's trust, and she put out a sled full of food for the deer cow each day. Soon, Bonnie really warmed up to Becky, and Becky knew that it was time to help transfer her to a new, loving home. She contacted Farm Sanctuary, a nonprofit that rescues abandoned and neglected farm animals. The rescue team was able to successfully corral Bonnie and bring her to her new home. Now, Bonnie has completely settled in, and she'll live the rest of her life surrounded by friends of her own kind, telling stories about the funny-looking cows that she used to hang out with. I'm Jen, and I post something positive every day.
That's awesome.
I was at the
That's
Capitol
awesome.
on January 6th.
She just admitted to being at the Capitol.
All right. I thought that would be a good one to end with right there. Guys, thank you so much for being here tonight, man. Busy Saturday night. Another Saturday night, one more Saturday night. And I do appreciate each and every one of you for being here and for coming to the shows during the week. I will be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, with Talking Trash and Truths for Old School Watch Party Sundays, where we watch a documentary and a movie. Tomorrow, part 2 of Meet the Drug Lords, Inside with the Real Narcos. That's part 2. And I believe our movie tomorrow night is Galaxy Quest. That's coming off that list that we made just a little while ago together. That came in 4th. So we'll watch that one. Why not? It'll be fun. But again, you guys, thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate each and every one of you, all you do. You know, you're the reason I show up, man, because we're going to get this thing right. We're going to win this reality, and we're going to take back our country and make it great again. Make it even better than before, as Vivek Ramaswamy would say. And we're going to leave a good legacy for our children to enjoy and make life the way it should be, man. So thank you guys so much for coming out this evening. I really appreciate it. And any final thoughts? Yeah. I hope to see you there, Keith. We'll have a good time. Get your Rumble account in order so you can follow us on over there. We'll do the kickoff show at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, and we'll have a lot of fun. All right, guys. Thanks again, and until next. Excuse me. Yeah. Hold on. There we go. And until next time, stay based and keep on winning.
Long distance runner, too hard in our ball. Caught in slow motion in a dash for the door. Led from your stage and now spread to the floor. You gave all you had, why you wanna give more? More that you give, more than you take.
Widespread Panic doing a Grateful Dead song called Fire on the Mountain.
Fire on the mountain. Fire on the mountain. Fire, fire, fire on the mountain. Fire, fire on the mountain. Talk about fire, fire on the mountain. Fire, fire on the mountain.
Oh, I played the cover band for tribute band for 7 years. Graham. So, buddy. You know, Jimmy Herring right there, we used to play with Phil and Friends. Riding a guitar. Here. Right here, yeah. He's also played in the Allman Brothers, too. The best in the world, Jimmy Herring.
This is a friendship that'll never ever end. This is a friendship that'll